No, I forgot the air conditioning remote over there. Oh, well. Hey, we're live. Hello, and welcome to Living Abroad. My name is Alex, and in today's video, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about why I live in Asia over Canada, but not me specifically. We have a guest here that messaged me 10 minutes ago, but is not quite here yet. So hopefully he's going to make it any second, but he'll be here for sure. So please let me know if you can hear me and see me, and we'll get this started. My external camera decided not to work today for some reason, so this is just a laptop camera. Excuse the graininess and the quality of the video, but you're not here to see my face. You're here for the discussion and the talk we have. So yeah, let me know in the comment section if you can hear me and see me, and I'm going to go through some of these messages and answer you guys' questions as per usual. So Peter is here saying, sweet, on time for another live. Thank you, Peter. Welcome. What's a rat race? I didn't hear that term much. Well, a rat race is basically the 9 to 5 grind, So, yeah, the rat race is what we're all doing, just in living life, going to work, coming home, just the entire cycle of life that none of us want to be doing, to be honest, to go to work and come back home. Lorenzo is going to be here in a few seconds, so we'll let him get set up, and I'll talk to him about his adventures in Asia and why he chooses to live there instead of back in Canada. So James is here. James says, Alex, see you perfectly. Great. So thank you for that confirmation. Let's see. Lorenzo's still getting set up, so we'll give him a second or so before bringing him on for this live stream. Today is Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for our scheduled live stream, and it looks like a sunny day, so that's nice, right? So the rain has stopped. A lot of banging and construction out there, but let's bring in Lorenzo now so we can talk to him. Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in this beautiful planet you may be logging in.
Welcome. Please tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Well, Lorenzo from Canada. Currently, I returned back to Malaysia last week. Now, this weekend, a little trip with a friend of mine to Georgetown, Penang. Mm-hmm. I'm staying at a hotel just for one night. I'm out of my place, so I don't have my computer, no equipment, so the sound might not be the best, but we do what we can. Alex invited me to be interviewed. I said absolutely, I would love to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and that is to inspire and empower people to go after their dreams and to elevate the quality of the lifestyle. And that's the main reason I decided to come here. Don't get me wrong, I'm a proud Canadian. I love Canada, but the way the country has been going the past few years, it's not the best place for me, and I don't agree with the way things are being done and how it's run. But the beautiful thing is, the world is a big place, and there's many other places you can still have what you want and be happy and elevate the quality of your lifestyle. And I've been blessed to have. I've been a nomad for as long as I can remember. I've lived in 12 countries, 4 continents, 6 languages. So yeah, and I was in Malaysia earlier this year for 3 months, and absolutely fell in love with the place. And I knew that I wanted to come back, and here I am. So that's in a very high level overview, but we can dive deeper if you want. But what I do, I've done a lot of things. I'm an impact driven podcaster. I'm a publisher as well as an author. I have an academy where I teach my students how to leverage the power of podcasting to grow their businesses in a nutshell.
All right. So speaking of elevating, why don't we elevate the quality of your camera, bro? You're so choppy and laggy, we can barely see you.
I know. I'm at this cheap hotel here at Penang and Georgetown, so that's why. Yeah. You should see. I wish I had a picture to see how I'm sitting right here on those little stools that you use for makeup. By the table. There's no. I just took this place just for one night in my apartment in KL. I have all the proper equipment. So if the quality, the image, and the video is not good, we can do that tomorrow or next week when I'm back in my crib.
Sure. Well, we'll keep this going for as long as we can. Anyways, at least we can hear you. And we get an idea of what you look like from the thumbnail, so it's not a big deal.
How is it better now? Is it better?
Not really different, to be honest. Now you're just frozen. Oh, no, there we go.
Let me try to use my data instead of the
instead of the Wi-Fi, right? The Wi-Fi is horrible in some of these countries. Anyways, guys, so disregard the quality of the camera. But yeah, so that's Lorenzo Payman. He's an author, a podcaster, digital nomad. Hey, that's much better. There we go.
Yeah, I'm using my data. So let's go with this, and I apologize again for that.
Yeah, no
So
worries. If you
your
want to
call.
go horizontal again, so you can be a full. There we go. Much better.
This one is better.
There we go. So you're in Georgetown, Penang, huh?
Yes,
I
arrived
I was
last
there.
night. I'm here with an American friend that I met while here. Is an incredible guy. When you come back here next time, I'll connect him to him. One of the most amazing, most connected people that I've met in Malaysia. And right now is retired. Is doing something that he's very passionate about, which is basketball. So he wants to go to all of the 13 or 14 different states in Malaysia and have kids shoot hoops. And he
Yeah.
wants to start a global movement, a global competition where the winners will be flown to Malaysia on all expenses paid. So he's got some sponsors in the US. He's looking, so he's building something big. I don't want to say too much because it's officially supposed to kick off on July 1st. He's
Okay.
also one of my alumni of my podcasting academy. So he's a great friend of mine. So that's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
no, it's amazing how people connect even in such a big place like the entire world, right? Like you and I met in person twice already, right? Once in Toronto and once in Malaysia when I was there. And of course, it's a great way to network and share your passion. And that's why we're on this live stream today talking about the reasons why we live in Asia over Canada. We'll get deeper into that. Let's say hello to some people and we'll get this whole thing going. Now, these things last usually between 1 hour and 2 hours, but please let me know if whenever you have to leave, we'll just say goodbye and I'll continue, okay?
Yeah, my friend he said I told him he's gonna come pick me up. So once he messages me, I will let him know. So I told him that I have a call from 9 to 10, so he's aware
Okay.
of it, and
Sounds good.
probably gonna. I will let you know. But
Sounds good.
maybe we can do part one today and part two maybe next week when I'm back in my place with proper equipment.
Sure. No,
Uh,
now we hear you perfectly and we see you great, so everything's great. So here we go. Um, Hello, Peter. Are you in Asia right now? If so, what country? So these guys are talking to each other. So Penang, Georgia. This is your first day, right?
Georgetown. We arrived.
Georgetown.
We
Yeah.
actually left KL yesterday morning at 7 a.m. We drove. He drove rather. Arrived around 11. We had lunch and yeah, and just explored. And I haven't had much opportunity to explore because it's been raining most of the day yesterday.
Hmm.
So and we're gonna go back to KL today, but I'm definitely gonna come back here another time with a longer time to really give this a proper, exploration because I've seen a lot of amazing things. I know you've been in Penang. I saw some of your videos, especially your street food in Penang. Absolutely, like wow, I need to
Yeah,
get
it's
there.
a gorgeous little town. I really like Penang. It's got
Yes,
a huge Chinese influence, and it's really feels like you go back in time a little bit, just the way some of the buildings are there and the infrastructure, or the I should say the architecture. Yeah, the food is great. It's known for the food, the street food especially. So let's get back into a lot of people want to go to Canada or the U.S., go to the West. They spend their entire life learning the language, trying to immigrate, work there. Why are you and I, especially you, specifically you, why did you leave Canada? I know you briefly mentioned it, but give us some more details of why you live
well,
in
I've been
Asia.
living in a lot of different places. So as soon as I could, my first place that I started traveling way back in 2005, as soon as I finished university, was I went to Brazil, South America. I went a few times. I was born in a family of travelers. My father was an archaeologist, geologist, so he had that in his DNA. I grew up in France, so it's been part of my DNA. That's how I am. And then I went to Thailand when I first started my first business after reading for a work week, living the laptop lifestyle. That was back in 2010, 2012. I always had this desire, this thirst for traveling. In 2015, I got a job offer in China as a football coach. Football is my passion, my religion, as you know. So I went there, stayed there for 4 years, and then 1 year in Hong Kong. And then when the pandemic started, and then I had one thing in mind: how can I get back on the road? And as soon as the restrictions in Canada were lifted because I'm not vaccinated, I couldn't travel.
Hmm.
So that was lifted at the end of September. On November 1st, I left Canada. I went spent a week in Italy, Milano, to watch my team AC Milan live. It was one of my all-time dreams. Amazing. 1 week there, 2 months in Thailand doing the World Cup and all that. And then I was supposed to go spend just 1 month in Malaysia, but I absolutely fell in love with it. I stayed until the whole 9 days that my visa would allow me.
Yeah.
So I stayed from January 11 to the very last day, April 11. After that, I went for a week in Istanbul, Turkey, as at the last minute, and then came back home to catch up with family and also to renew my passport. I got my new passport 3 weeks ago on a Monday. The very next day on Tuesday, I booked my one-way ticket back to KL because listen, I just love the world. I just love, traveling. I'm an adventurer. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And the world is too beautiful to limit yourself just to the 50-mile radius that you were born. And that's a play maybe for 50, 60 years ago, but nowadays it's no longer, I mean, at least from as far as I'm concerned, it would be a waste to limit yourself just to where you're born, at least from my personal experience and personal opinion, because the world is so beautiful. Go explore, go see the world. For me,
I get it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us want to do that, but we can't, right? So first of all, do you have kids? Are you married? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, thank God. I'm not married, no kids, nothing.
Maybe
when people ask me, I say I'm living the free agent lifestyle, free agent.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
So, no, but I eventually I do want to, but again, I haven't. For me, I'm traditional, I'm conservative, and marriage is something sacred. It's not something just like the supermarket. You go get a shirt, next week you return it, and that's unfortunately how it's become in the West. So once I meet the right woman, absolutely, I would. Actually, I love kids. I would love to have my own kids. I love my niece, my two nephews, love them to death. But I haven't met the one for me yet. Let's say what destiny has in store for me.
All right. So we want to know, how are you making money living abroad? How do you sustain yourself? James asks.
Well, my podcast is basically what completely changed my life. To my podcast, I have an academy where I teach. I work mostly with coaches and entrepreneurs to leverage podcasting to grow their business, to attract the clients. And also, I'm a publisher to the podcast. Also, I'm launching my multi-authored books, and so this is how I'm making my money. And the beautiful thing is, while in the West, in Canada, in the US, UK, Australia, cost of living is getting out of hand. Like when I was in Toronto, I was spending $4,000 a month without leaving the house, barely covering just basic grocery stores expenses. Forget about eating out, forget about social life or anything else. Whereas here in Malaysia, for example, I'm living my very best life on $2,000 a month. I go eat anytime I want. I don't even look at prices. I take a Grab, which is equivalent of Uber. I'm living like I'm a millionaire without being one. The lifestyle I have here would be around $2,000 US would cost me about, especially with the current cost of living in Canada, in Toronto, probably $20,000 of after-tax money. So I would have to be making around $500,000 because 50% goes to taxes, and after all the crazy cost of living, you know it because you're from Toronto as well. Especially now, it's becoming beyond absurd. Like just before coming, I went to a basic restaurant for lunch with my brother-in-law and one of my cousins. $30 for a basic plate of kebab.
Yeah.
And where I stay, $30. Whereas here, $30, I can fill my fridge for a week of the freshest veggies and fruits, and I can go to the most amazing. I told you I lived in Brazil. I love Brazilian food. The Brazilian steakhouse. There's one in KL. For lunch, it's like 67 ringgit, which is literally $17.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Like, it's crazy. Prices, when I went back in September, like you said, I went to like a mid-range restaurant, not even like a plate would cost you $30 to $35 just for things that you might only pay $9 or $10 when like a few years ago. So just rice and meat is starting to cost it's too expensive. And then you consider taxes and tip, and the tip culture in Canada is getting ridiculous too. Now they're expecting 20% tip. and not even just restaurants and services, but just when you pick up your food, when you pay, there's a tip option with no. I mean, why am I tipping you? I came to pick up my own food. It's getting
And it's
really
still at
bad.
15%.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's getting really, really bad out there. Let's answer some questions. We'll get back to this. East Coast Refugee, one of the channel members, thank you for being here. A lot of my coworkers think I'm running from the law with all the places I've lived. Why fully remote and not go? Yeah, why not fully remote and not go anywhere? So, yeah, a lot of people think that like there was this channel that made this video about me. It's kind of funny saying, "Oh, Alex is running away from the law." What are you guys talking about? We don't. I don't need to run away from the law. My face is all over the internet, or whatever. So if you're gonna be trying to run away from the law, you're not gonna be a YouTuber. That's for sure. So no, I think some people just don't understand because they haven't had a chance to explore, or they just haven't even thought about it because everybody thinks it's this far-fetched dream. But as you just mentioned, we're actually saving money by traveling. So we can't afford to live in our own country. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we're out here, not because we're rich or running away from the law. So it's completely the opposite.
Like for me, I can afford to live in my country, but after having lived in so many different places, why would I overspend and get a low quality return on my money? It's just about that. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to be a millionaire or an athlete or a drug dealer, so to speak, to be living that life. As long as you can make $2,000 a month online, or even, hey, work for 2 years, save $20,000, $30,000. That's going to buy you 1 to 2 years, depending on where you go. And during that time, learn a high income skill, figure out what you enjoy, and learn a skill, and then you can build a business around it. Build a service business around that. It's not rocket science. You can do e-commerce or whatever. There's a lot of ways nowadays to make money, or find a remote position job, or become a closer for high ticket offers. There's lots of opportunities, guys. Don't restrict yourself, limit to the traditional get a college degree, get a job, and just be stuck paying exorbitant amount of money just for nothing. Because I know people in Toronto who are making $150,000 a year, but yet they can't keep up. In Toronto, $100,000 is the minimum wage nowadays. Seriously, I'm not kidding.
It's true. No, it's true. You can't live by yourself if you're working less than $100,000 a year. You have to have a roommate or a partner or share someplace. It's getting really bad out there. Shoba Pai says we don't have the luxury of maid, cook, driver, etc. in Canada. Yeah, forget about it. Not regular folks like us. No way.
I want to share a story. When I was last summer in Canada, I would say it was family. My sister, one day, she hired a maid. We have a 3-story house to do just basic cleaning. For 2 hours, she charged $300.
My goodness.
Whereas here, you can have a full-time living maid for like $600.
Yeah, exactly. And here in the Philippines, for $300, you can have like a whole month of living maid, probably. So, no, it's some, and that's the other thing. So it really does elevate your lifestyle for the prices that you might pay compared to back in Canada. So, like you said, why not let your money get you a lot more in Malaysia? But let's go back to Malaysia a little bit. Why Malaysia specifically? Because you said you've been to Thailand and other countries as well. So, what is it about Malaysia that makes you want to stay there?
Oh man, a lot of reasons. First of all, Malaysia is safe. Once you reach a certain age, you want safety. You want to be able to walk on the street without having to looking behind you. Like I love Brazil, I love Colombia, but unfortunately, you cannot do that in those places. You have to be always on your guard. You cannot, I like dressing nice. I like wearing nice watches and nice stuff. But in Brazil, you can't do that. Or if you do it, you have to. You cannot walk on the street, for example. Whereas here in Asia, Malaysia is very safe. That's one reason. Another reason is people speak English. Malaysia was a British colony up to 1950 or 60, something like this. Don't put me on that, but around that time. So everybody speaks English. That's huge. And number 2, it's civilized. People are friendly. People are polite. Number 3, it's very developed. Very developed, especially around KLCC, the city center. What else? It's an amazing hub for travel. KL as one of the biggest international airports in Asia, and from there you can fly to anywhere for the price of a Big Mac. In Toronto, a Big Mac just before I came was $16. That was before cheese. If you want cheese, that's $18. Just to give you an example.
$18 for a Big Mac meal, right? It's
Yes,
getting absurd. Like it's
I know.
ridiculous.
So another reason also is that the networking is absolutely off the chart. Unlike Thailand, which is very touristy attracts, it's a major destination, especially for backpackers and some unsavory characters like sex tourists. People are trying to escape from the laws. Literally, you see that in Thailand. Whereas in Malaysia, because it's a Muslim country,
Hmm.
it keeps all the riffraff away. There's no,
Yeah,
seedy nightlife prostitution in your face like in Thailand. Here is very quiet. The country actually cleaned that out. There's none of
yeah,
that here anymore, and because of that, it attracts a different caliber, higher caliber of expats. People that Malaysia is big in oil and gas. So people that are here, they've been sent by the companies, or people that have built businesses, or people that are looking more for stability to build a base, and people that are married to locals. So as a result of that, the caliber of people you meet is off the chart. I've met some incredible people doing incredible, amazing things here, and honestly, I'm at a stage of my life that I want quality,
yeah.
and also Malaysia is a wonderful place because you have people of all backgrounds. You have the Muslims, you have the Christians, you have the Chinese, the Indians, the expats. Everybody living in peace together in harmony. For me,
Yeah.
Malaysia and KL can be the example, the model for the world how to cohabit and coexist and this modern world. You don't have any of this divisiveness, division, and BS that you see back in Canada.
Yeah, all
Everybody
the
sticks to
politics nowadays, and it's getting insane.
everybody sticks to themselves, to the community. Whereas here, everybody mingles, and it's very easy to get access to communities or to parts of society that, for example, when you're in KL, I took you to one of my favorite places, which is I call it my afternoon office, the tea lounge of the Four Seasons.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Canada, I've never been there because it wouldn't even allow you to even go
It
there
wouldn't
unless
cross
you're
your
staying
mind.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
even
that
if you
too.
were to
Yeah,
go there, you would have to be dressed in nice, like wearing like a Armani $20,000 suit. But here, I walk in dressed with a shirt and shorts. Well, I mean, nice, mind you, but still. Now they know me on a first time basis. Oh, what do you want,
yeah.
Mr.
No,
Lorenzo? Okay, same as usual. Okay, if they greet me, I greet them. I get an amazing pot of exotic tea for literally $6. That's
no.
even
It's a
cheaper
nice
than,
place.
yeah, seriously, and it refill you for free.
No,
So
it's a great.
that's
No,
another thing.
I hear you, man. It's definitely a better quality, better standard. Malaysia surprised me completely. I had no idea before I went
Yeah,
there, and yeah, everything's advanced, developed, clean, proper.
safe.
It feels
Yeah.
like in Canada in a lot of ways. It's organized, but I think the quality of life seems to be better in KL for sure.
Oh, there's no comparison. For example, where can I even start, man? Your environment really affects not only your mood, your productivity, but also your motivation. And kind of always feel like low on energy. I don't want to do anything. Whereas here, I'm always out and about. I'm full of energy. I feel alive.
I hear you. Now, Canada, like it gets cold. Somebody mentioned here, SGB says Canada's weather is depressing and long months of snow, which is true. So anywhere from November to May nowadays, sometimes it's just cold, snowy, gloomy a little bit. So obviously that's going to affect your personality.
Big time.
Um, yeah, for sure. Shoba Pai says, with the money we have in Canada, if I wind up and come to India, I can live like a queen with a
There you go.
maid, driver, chef, etc. It's true. I just recently, well, not so recent anymore. 6 months ago, I was in India, and I think it was the cheapest country I traveled to. Now, I
Wow.
personally wouldn't go back to India in specific cities just to due to pollution was really bad in Mumbai and Delhi. But Goa and Kerala and those areas, it's a huge place, India, of course, right? So if you're living by the coastal or the southern regions, you can live an amazing life for really, really affordable prices. Let's keep reading. People do two, three jobs just to pay rent, bills, and
There
groceries.
you go.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. In Canada, if you have a minimum wage job, which sounds high, $16 is going to be in October for minimum wage. Now it's 15 something. $15 an hour might sound good to someone living here, but they don't realize sometimes the cost of living in Canada is through the roof, right? And then there's so many things you don't consider. Even like your cell phone bill comes up to close to
Oh,
$100.
don't get me started, man. Yeah. I was paying. Mind you, I was also. I made a mistake of getting like a phone, my iPhone 12. on the 2-year contract, something I would never do because I ended up paying 3 times the cost of the item. I should have bought it straight away.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I was paying $110 a month, mind you, for the phone, and I was getting 20 GBs of data for $110. Here in Malaysia, on a tourist visa, month to month, I'm paying 45 ringgit, which is literally 11 US dollars. No, sorry, $9 with the current, between 950 US dollars for 40 GB. And that's on a month to month. So once you are permanent here, you can get pretty much like even unlimited for like $10.
Yeah,
you know,
and once you're permanent, your cost of rent reduces too because you're renting longer, right? So everything gets better.
The place I'm staying right now, I sent you pictures, and I can send you pictures again. On a luxury condo right in the heart of KLCC, 7 to 10 minute walk to the Petronas Towers. Right now I'm staying on the 34th floor of the building, brand spanking new. I'm the first person to move in. Airbnb, it's 842 US dollars a month. All the utilities included.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, that's Airbnb. And when I talk to my expat friends here, they say, "Whoa, you're overpaying." I said, "I know, because if I were to sign a 6 to 12 month contract, I can slash out that from $850 to pretty much $400-500 US.
Definitely.
Whereas in Toronto, a room in a shared house would be $1,500 to $1,800. That's in the suburbs. In downtown, it's probably $2,000. A studio is like $2,500 to $3,000, $2,500.
And it comes with nothing usually, bare, right? You can't. There's no furniture included, no electricity included. So in Toronto, a lot of those places, like in Asia, many places come furnished already. It has a sofa, a bed, a TV, a fridge, and all that. But in Canada, it's rare to find when you're moving in. At least there's nothing in there. Usually, it's just empty. So you have to bring your own furniture and things like that. And if you want it fully furnished, obviously that price increases as well. So. No, I hear you, man, and that's why we're both in Asia. I think many of the similar or same reasons.
I mean, Asia is one option, but again, there's other options. Asia is not the only place. I mean, depending on what level you are in terms of the revenue your business generates. If you have a large safety net in terms of savings, then don't sleep on Southern Europe. You can live some very good quality of lifestyle there. I was in Italy. Mind you, Milano is probably the most expensive place in Italy with Paris, but you can live well for like say I have lots of Italian friends telling me 2,000 euros a month. You can live pretty comfortable lifestyle in Italy. I was in Istanbul in April, and again, you can live on maybe $2,000 a month, and you're really living well, Or in Portugal, in Spain. South of France, where I grew up, and even South America and Brazil, for example, there's some safe places if you go further to the south, like Florianopolis or Balneário Camboriú, which is a major beach town resort. It's very safe, and you can live on $2,000. A very nice, for example, probably the place where you can have the craziest quality of lifestyle right now is Argentina, Buenos Aires, because your money is going so freaking far. Like 1,000 pesos right now is worth $2 US.
It's insane. So, but what? Yeah, I know Argentina is really struggling right now. Turkey is struggling. When I was in Turkey, 1 USD was about 8 Turkish lira, and a meal would cost me only about 26 to 30 lira. Right now, 1 USD is 25 lira. So you can see the prices, and I know. Of course, inflation affects that, and the price of food is not the same. But your value still goes a lot further than the inflation rate, anyways, right? So, in Argentina, I know they're struggling. I know it's not good to take advantage of these countries, but also you're supporting their economy. Like I think of it that way, right? So
we're not taking advantage. We're like the oxygen to these people. We're bringing them. Allowing these people to survive.
Yeah, of course, we're eating at the restaurants.
My money over there than spending it in an overpriced place like Toronto. We're paying like $18 just for a Big Mac combo. Whereas in Argentina, for $10, you can have an amazing steak like this, literally a delicious bottle of wine, and amazing food for like $10. I would pay that anytime.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, we got 36 people watching live and consecutively, guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm just speaking with Lorenzo, who's living in Malaysia right now. Just sharing his experiences of why he lives there. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. consider memberships or super chat, super stickers, all that stuff. If not, give me a second and I'll get to your questions in a minute. Samantha Jones is here. Good evening. Good evening, Samantha. Why you tripping? Ayo, how's it going? Why you tripping? Malaysia has high taxes on booze. Yeah, it's a Muslim country, right? So I guess there'll be some high taxes on that. And damn, I remember when my first job was like $5 an hour Canadian. Yeah, it must have been a while ago. Actually, my first job, I think it was only like $8 or $9 Canadian an hour for minimum wage.
What was your first job, Alex?
I remember I worked as a dishwasher in a French restaurant. I mean,
Wow.
My first job was a long time, but my first official paid by the government job was that, right? But I used to hustle as a kid. I used to buy candy from the dollar store, like chocolate boxes, and sell them for $3 door to door and make like twice the profit. So I was doing all kinds of things, but I used to like have these gambling rings with kids. Like they give me their, yeah, I know. So I used to like collect the money, and we should throw toonies, like $2 coins, against the wall. Whoever gets the closest to the wall gets to collect all the money, right? So I don't know. I used to come like before the game would start and just see how the groundwork is and how hard I got to throw it. I used to hustle people when I was a kid for sure. But now I'm trying to be straight. But it was, yeah, I remember working in a restaurant as a dishwasher. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Willie Hernandez here. Hello, Alex and everyone. Hello, Willie. Yeah, just transportation alone is ridiculous.
Yes.
TTC, Subway, and all that stuff for $4.
Like what, $4? So that's $4? Something like this?
Something like that. So $4 is $8 on a bus. So basically $10 just to take the bus.
Speaking of that, when I went, my flight last Monday of the previous week was at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I called an Uber at 3 o'clock in the morning because I didn't want to bother any family. And we live like way out on the east side.
Yeah.
It was like close to 80 Canadian dollars,
wow.
Which is for about, I would say, 50 kilometers, which is a fair distance.
Yeah.
And KL, the same distance, my fare from the airport to KLCC was 80 ringgits. 80 ringgits, that's like $20.
Yeah, there you go.
To give you an example, I go everywhere I want here within Kuala Lumpur. My Grab, rides are about, I don't know, between 10, which is $2, to maybe $5, $6 at most. I got my Rapid KL card, which is for the subway, and you can use the metro, the elevated train, the sky train, all that. So I went there on Thursday. It cost me 30 ringgits, and on the 30 ringgit I paid, $25 was load inside the card I can only use. So each ride is about less than 2 ringgits.
Yeah,
so,
less than 50 cents, huh?
Exactly. So I mean, it's absolutely.
It's mind blowing, right? No, you save a lot of money for sure. And then that's the thing with transportation. Anywhere in Asia, I don't even look at the price. It's not something that would bother us, right? It's just a matter of traffic. Do you want to take a taxi or take the subway or the trains or something like that, right? That's the only difference. But yeah, so transportation is a piece of cake here in Asia.
Like for example, one thing I may want to add, Alex, is that from the suburb in the east part of Toronto that I was living, that we're living, to go to downtown Toronto, it would cost me $30 in commuting, and an hour and a half each way. $30.
So bad, yeah. And then if you have a car, how much is parking in Toronto? Even just to park your car somewhere is what I don't even know what the parking prices are these days. But I know people would just rather take the fine by just parking somewhere they're not supposed to park than just to go park somewhere legally. It's getting really bad. Philip Massey said, where in Malaysia is this guy living? So
Kuala Lumpur, brother. Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur, that's it. Yeah, so Why You Tripping says, I'm 45, so that was a long time ago. I think he's referring to the minimum wage that we spoke about earlier. Willie Hernandez says, can you live a good life in Malaysia for about $3,000 a month? This is living decent. A place to still have to be able to visit, vacation, Southeast Asian countries. Oh, yeah, buddy.
$3,000, you're living like Pablo Escobar. Minus the criminality.
No, 3,000 will go a long way. Like if your rent is about, let's say 600, even or 800 for a luxury place, you still got 2,200 to spend on whatever you want.
Listen, my American friend that I mentioned, even and his wife, locals, they have an amazing apartment, 3-bedroom, literally 200 meters from the towers, the Twin Towers. Yeah. They have a car. They drive when they want to, like for example, to go on trips on the weekends, like this weekend. They living both for both of them on 2,000 US dollars a month. They eat out. They do whatever they want whenever they want for a couple.
Yeah.
Me as
That's
a
a,
single guy, sure, I like to splurge. I'm living my best life on 2,000 US dollars a month. I can if I wanted to, I can slash that maybe by to 1,500 or 12 or really really bootstrap to 1,000. But when you come to a place like this, you don't want to bootstrap. You
yeah.
wanna you wanna spend a bit more so you can drastically elevate and upgrade the quality of your life. So $3,000, honestly, I mean, so is that Willie? Is that just for you? Do you have a spouse, kids? That's important. But if it's just you, 3,000, you're flying high, man. You're flying high.
Yeah. I agree, man. 100%. Who's better, Messi or Ronaldo?
For me, difficult to say. I used to be a Messi fan, but now I'm a French, so it broke my heart. So, uh, but lately I've been learning to really appreciate Cristiano because of all the effort he does and all the philanthropy he does around the world, all the good he
Hmm.
does around the world. So I tend to be more. I love Cristiano's hard work ethic and the talent of Messi. So if you want to bring both together, but
That'd be
for me the
perfect.
greatest is Diego. The Diego for me is the greatest.
Okay, okay. I think the way I see it is like Messi is the Jordan of basketball and Ronaldo is the LeBron James. Just like he's so athletic, skilled,
Yeah.
dedicated, hardworking, but I feel like Messi's game is so effortless. Of course, it just seems that way. I watched Messi play live, and from everybody on the pitch,
Wow.
you can just see the different. You can see the quality, man. Like even from where I was sitting, the ball is like glued to his feet, and the way he moves doesn't even look natural. So
Unstoppable.
yeah, he looks unstoppable. Why you tripping says, have you been to Penang?
I'm in Penang right now.
I was gonna say he's in Georgetown, right? So he's in Penang right now. I really enjoyed Penang. I think it's a cool little city. Samantha saying hello to Philip Massey. Hi Lorenzo. What's way different in KL as compared to the West besides the cost? What else is different there aside from
The
the cost?
people are so much more friendlier. It's a lot easier to go and socialize with people. What else? Because it's warm all year long. I mean, me coming from Canada, and one thing I'm glad I don't miss is the snow and the shoveling, the cold. Um, the networking opportunity, as I said, because of what Malaysia is, it attracts a different quality of expats. And so the people you meet are much higher level. I love networking. I love going to events. This is one thing I miss in Toronto. Sure, there are events, but because Toronto is so freaking far spread, going from where I am on the east side of Toronto to, for example, downtown and an event, it would take me 2 hours each way. So I don't even
Yeah,
bother. Whereas here, I'm in the downtown KL. I can literally walk to pretty much everywhere I want. Or if I want to go to a meetup, I just grab it, $2 at all. So that's something that I love the networking. Oh, another thing I love. I don't know if that's going to be controversial, but you don't see any of this leftist nonsense that you see back in the US or Canada and all these transgender agenda and all that. None of that here because it's a Muslim country. And that's
yeah,
something if I were to see, I said that I love kids and I do want to build a family, but I would be horrified if I had kids right now going to the brainwashing machine in Canada right now, what they poisoning the minds of the kids. Whereas here, none
I
of that.
wouldn't want to put my kids in Canadian schools right now
So
either.
that's for me as a conservative, as a traditional man. I'm not religious, but I believe in God. I'm very spiritual. That's very important for me. You know?
Yeah, so a lot of differences you mentioned.
Yeah.
The networking, the people, the weather, the work
Mentality.
culture is not there, the
Yes.
mentality, and when I was there, the approachability. I found
Yes.
Malaysians like I think
Very
I got
friendly.
yeah, I make videos obviously interviewing people on the street. And I think in Malaysia, people are just in different mindset that they're so open to networking and meeting other people that I think I had the highest success rate whenever I asked for an interview, for example. Very few people said no or they're not interested or whatever the reasoning is. Whether that was a coincidence or whatever, I just feel like people are a lot more relaxed in KL. Just even though you're in the heart of the city, even though everything around you is like booming and bustling, they seem to be in I don't know, they have peace of mind there. It doesn't seem to be in a rush the way it is in Toronto. So a lot of questions coming in. Let's answer some of these guys. Bear with us. Let's see. So insurance is the biggest scam in Canada. Yeah, don't get us started on insurance.
Worldwide.
Insurance, insurance on your car, insurance on your house, insurance on your life. Like, come on. It's just all scam. I get it. Willie Hernandez, I'm a single guy, so just me. I have more funds, but why spend all of it when I can spend 3K basically?
Hey, Willie, even 3,000 is too much. If you 2,000, seriously, come here. I don't know what is your nationality, but if you're Canadian or American or most Western European countries, you get a 90-day visa upon arrival, no questions asked. 3 months is plenty of time for you to have a feel for the place, and you will love it. And speaking of as a single guy, let me put it this way: you will have a good time here.
Speaking of having a good time and being single, tell us about the dating scene. People want to know what's going on up there with the dating.
Because people are so much more open and friendly and approachable, it's a lot easier to meet people. Especially, I'm an event guy. I love going to events. I used to host events. So you meet some really good people during events, and if you want to play also the dating apps, sure, you can do that too. You will have much more, matches and results than back in. For example, in Toronto, when I came back, I put my location in Toronto. I lasted 5 minutes because without sounding too crazy, all I saw was just the blue-haired nose ring and 300-pounder with 5 kids with with 4 different baby daddies and expecting the moon. I said, you know what? I'm out. I don't even want to play that game.
Yeah, it's dating is a whole different world in Asia as a whole. I find in the West,
more natural.
Canada. It's I did a video recently that hasn't been released yet. I asked a bunch of women, how much money does a guy need to make to date you? So the question would go over most people's head. It's not something that they really think about, whereas if you watch any videos in the West, people, oh, he's got to make 6 figures. Everybody has this number in mind and they can't wait to tell you what they expect in a guy. And it's all these high standards, like you said. But over here, I would say 99% of the answers would have to do something with quality time with the person or like just being there for them, loyalty and honesty and stuff like that. So the money thing, of course, money is important in any relationship, but it doesn't really come to mind as much for Asian women compared to Western women, definitely. And
in Canada, for example, in the West, the first question they ask you, what do you do? Oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor. Oh, nice to meet you. Yeah. What do you do? I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a writer, I'm a podcaster, whatever. Or I'm a plumber. Okay, see you. Without even them knowing that, a podcaster, a publisher, actually plumbers make some of the most money out there.
Of course.
Plumbers,
trades now. Electricians, carpenters.
Oh yeah, I wish I had gone to a blue collar trade. Because that's something you can do anywhere. That's something that people always need.
Definitely, man. No, I agree. So yeah, dating is definitely easy. Why you tripping?
It's not just easy. It's more fun. It's more natural. It's more, the men know what it means to be a man, and the women know what it means to be a woman, and the women embrace the femininity as opposed to trying to be like the boys and be where the girls are more masculinized and the guys are more feminized, and it's a reverse. Everybody's confused. Nobody knows who's what and who's that.
It's definitely not. It's more natural and not as combative as it is in the West. Yes. Nobody's trying to level you up or equal you in any way, whether it's money or like your role in a relationship or what their say is in anything. People are just much easier to deal with here as a whole.
And Alex, there's no mind games like in the West. I'm sure you've seen some of those way back, those dating gurus that say, oh, there's a rules. You have to, when you get the number, you have to text it within 36 hours. If not, you sound too desperate. None of that crap here. If you like her, you message, she messages. There's no need to play any game. I like you, you like me. Let's get together. As simple as that. Just the way it's supposed to be.
I agree, man. James mentions about the insurance scam. So you pay every month all the premiums, then an accident, the customer starts crying because the rates are going up, which makes no sense. I just paid you 3 years of insurance. Yeah, it's just insane without even getting into it. Plus, your premiums can go up even if you don't have an accident because you as a group of people in that province had higher rates of accidents or some BS. Whatever the reasoning is, man, they screw you one way or the other. insurance
I
company.
used to work. I used to work for an insurance company, and I swear to you, it really opened my eyes. Just like the previous person said, you pay dutifully your premium every month, and when you need them, they come. They do the hardest to find ways not to pay you.
Oh, of course.
This was my job at the insurance company, especially for life insurance. Okay, but this is, you know what? I just couldn't take it. I just quit.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part of that, anyways, right?
Nah,
So, James says he's right about brainwashing of children. My sister said in front of the board and made an example. Yeah, no,
oh
it's
yeah.
true. Like the brainwashing is on another level.
It's not
Yeah,
just
who is this?
brainwashing; it's poisoning them, confusing them, is destroying their. I mean, and the worst is, at least out in Canada, I'm not sure, but in the U.S., let's say you have a little boy, and the school the teachers encourages him to be a girl, and he comes home one night and tells, "Hey, Daddy, I want to be a little girl." And if you object to that, they will legally take your kid away. Or even worse, they will not even allow the kids to take the school or the books that they're being using in school to bring them home so the parents don't see it.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, if that's not criminal, I don't know what it is.
it's getting really bad. I don't want to get into specific examples, but the
Yeah,
whole
sure.
school education, all that political correctness, political wokeness, being too one-sided. Like I keep saying, I'm all for equality, but I think we've overcorrected to the point where we just kind of lost sight of what reality is. When you like, I don't know, whatever. Let's move on from that topic because it's
Not even
annoying.
education is pushing an agenda. It's
Yeah, definitely.
brainwashing.
It
Yeah.
is brainwashing. So James is continuing his story. Says she asked my little niece what her favorite color was, and my niece said blue. Then she asked my sister, "What's your favorite color, mommy?" And she said red. Then my niece said, "Then my favorite color is red too, mommy." And my sister said, "Thank you. Exactly my point." Yeah. So the brainwashing thing, kids they're still developing, right? So they're still learning. They might just mimic you without really knowing what's right or wrong. And if the
Yeah.
teachers are not setting a good example or not doing anything properly, then the kids will follow the same. Willie says, "I'm from the U.S., California, and plan to move to the Philippines 2026. Then plan to live there for 6 or 7 months and travel around Southeast Asia the rest of the year. I'm trying to gauge my budget." Yeah, I think you'll be fine, Willie. From what I know about you, you've been on this live stream several times by now. I know you're a member. You've been using stickers and chats, and I know you do well for yourself. I think you have no problem with the budget. I think you should definitely be able to stay under 3K for sure, and maybe even 2K. Still live a good life.
If I may give an advice not only for you, Willie, but for everyone else, when you go to these places, even if you can't afford to spend more, don't overspend because you don't want to attract unwanted attention. And of course, you never want to tell the person, especially when you start dating the girl, how much money you have, how much you can spend. Keep a low profile as you can, and seriously, try to see if you can live on less because you don't need to spend 3,000 in the Philippines. I mean, you spend more time than me, Alex, in the Philippines, but I've been 4 or 5 times in shorter trips. Listen, on $1,500, $2,000 and Cebu and Manila, maybe a little bit more, 2,000. You're living well.
Yeah, so that also answers another question someone asked if you live in the Philippines or if you've been here. So you've been here a few times on shorter trips. Yeah, no, these are some great points people are mentioning. James says, Alex, this is a good interview. He's getting down to the details, which means a lot. Awesome interview. Thank you. Yeah,
Welcome.
Lorenzo, thanks for being here. You want to let us know about your podcast so people can go ahead and maybe listen to some of your
Yes,
stuff?
my podcast is called Leaders with a Heart on YouTube and on the audio version is a bit behind, but I'm slowly catching up on Apple and
Okay.
eventually on Spotify and all that. So it's basically a platform where I interview heart-centered entrepreneurs who are building impactful, meaningful businesses with a purpose, with a cause. Because my whole motto is inspiring entrepreneurs to do good. Because sure, we all need to make money, but let's do so in a way that is meaningful, impactful, and purposeful, so we can all make the world a better place. So that's my premise. Is what I do. I inspire entrepreneurs to do good with their businesses, and inspire. Especially what I do. What I do the most is I'm a cheerleader for people to go after their dreams, to inspire, to empower them to live a fuller life, a more in line with their soul, with their heart, to truly follow their passion. Because listen, you were not born just to pay bills, just to keep up with the Joneses. You were born to live your life, of course, without harming anyone else. As long as you just live your life in a way that's meaningful for you and that makes you happy. And and honestly, you don't need money, a lot of money to be happy. Money doesn't make you happy. True happiness comes from within.
Yeah.
I have a time when I literally no money, living on $20 a week in some of the most expensive place in the world because I run out of money. But that's a topic for another conversation. But yet, it was some of my happiest moment of my life, and that
Yeah.
taught me that you don't need money to be happy.
And I think a lot of people also learned that through this whole COVID situation. People were
Yes.
afraid to lose their jobs. People were afraid to step outside their comfort zone, out of that security that they had for so many years, and realize, you know what, I can live for a lot less. I can survive this, and if I could do this, then why not follow my dreams and my
Totally.
passion, and see if what happens there, right? So, guys, I've gone ahead and put the link to Lorenzo's YouTube channel. Please go ahead, show some love, show some support.
And also,
Send
I have a
him,
book, if I may. The book is the
of
same
course.
title, Leader with the Heart. It's on Amazon. 100% of the proceeds go to charity. So feel free to grab a copy.
There you go, guys. So, a good man doing good things. All right, so cool, guys. So that's his channel. Take a look. Let's get back to some of these questions, and we'll try to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or so. Philip Massey says, Lorenzo, I'm not sure if you mentioned already, did you visit other places before settling in Malaysia? If so, then why do you prefer? Yeah, I think we kind
Yes.
of covered this already. But
As I said, I lived in 12 countries, but as an adult, I lived in Brazil. That was the first place I went to back between 2005 2009. I traveled a lot. I almost get engaged, but that the stars wasn't my time. So that's a different story. And then I also lived in Thailand and the Philippines, traveled a lot. I lived 4 years in China, 1 year in Hong Kong. In China, I was working as a professional football coach. So I have a good experience and an idea of what it is like to live in China. I had an amazing time over there, enjoyed it, met some amazing, friendly people. But the place that ticks most of the boxes for me, sure, no place is perfect, but the place that ticks most of the boxes for me so far has been Kuala Lumpur. And this is why I came back here. And right now and I told you that when we met in Kuala Lumpur, Alex, that my main objective, main focus is to find a way, how can I stay here legally long term? Because I want to make KL and Malaysia my home base. As I said, I'm a proud Canadian. I love Canada as a country, but I don't agree with the way the country is being run, or rather being ruined. So for now, I'm going to be staying here. Plus, listen, I think I've paid my dues when it comes to 25 years in the cold in Canada. I think that's enough for a lifetime. Yeah.
No, I agree.
A big touch.
I'll be honest. No, I hear you, bro. And nowhere's perfect, and there's too many countries to visit for me. I'm gonna I think I might make Cebu my base, just because of what I do and the people that are around me here make life easy for me, and why stress myself when I don't need to. And I'm gonna visit other places for sure. I want to visit as many countries as possible. I hear you, bro. And East Coast Refugee says, thanks for this interview. I want to visit Malaysia now. A lot of countries are too dense with digital nomads now, Colombia, Portugal, and I hope it doesn't ruin the vibe. I hope so too. I mean, I highly recommend Malaysia. And the thing is, like, Malaysia has a lot of places. KL and like Penang and Georgetown are great because they're popular. But for example, they have Borneo, part of Malaysia, right? That little Borneo is a gorgeous place. I've never been there, but from what I've seen, I missed out last time I was there. But I have to go back to Kuala Lumpur. I'll leave me Malaysia for sure. They have Borneo. They have all these other medium-sized towns that no one really talks about. I was in Cameron Highlands. That place was. I just came across it randomly, and then we just went there, and it was like breathtaking. It was like mountainous hills, one of the oldest like forests they had, and it just felt like I was in a whole new world. Really, like there was no. I don't know. It just felt like a whole new place for me. So I think Malaysia doesn't get enough credit for sure.
East Coast Refugee, I love your nickname. Malaysia also has now a digital nomad visa. It's not the easiest to get, but if you have an established business, you can show, I believe it's $2,500 income each month, and you can show 1 or 2 years of income from your business. Then you can apply. But they also have other options as well. Colombia, speaking of Colombia has a good digital nomad visa, as well as Argentina and Brazil. Brazil is probably one of the easiest to get. All you have to do is just show that you have that you're generating $1,500 US a month from outside of Brazil, or show that you have about 18,000 US in the bank, and you get a visa for 1 year, can extend for 2 years, and so on and so forth. Argentina as well, similar threshold, $1,500 a month. So there's a lot of places nowadays. Thailand, of course. Thailand has the elite visa, the digital nomad visa. So look around. But yeah, seriously, as long as you come from a Western country, and that's something that we should not take for granted. Our passport, for me, the greatest asset Canada has given me is a passport. Seriously.
Yeah.
Passport opens the world to you. You can travel, come to Malaysia for 3 months, go to Thailand for, I don't know, how long do you have now? 30 days, you can get a multiple entry visa for 6 months, whatever. Go to Colombia for 3 months, Brazil 3 months, Argentina 3 months, or in the European Union. Go explore, go see which one you like. I see life as a buffet, not only as a way to try all these amazing dishes, but also as a way to experience the world. Go experience and explore, say, 3 months in Argentina, 2 months in Brazil, 3 months in Colombia or Peru, whatever, and Italy and Spain. As long as you can make money, listen, this is the key, guys. This is the takeaway. Do whatever you can to learn a high income skill so that you can make at least $2,000 US a month online. Then you're golden.
You're set. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Right. Instead of like, to me, even universities and colleges are pointless now, unless you're doing something very specific, like becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or like a vet, or something that requires you to go to
Yes.
school to learn about it. Like this whole general business degree or accounting and education,
Basket weaving.
all this nonsense is going to be like a footnote on your resume. It doesn't give you anything, no option. Instead of spending 4 years in that, focus on yourself, build this online entrepreneurship mindset to just do something for yourself. And in that 4 years, trust me, if you focus on anything for 4 years, you're going to be successful. If you push through
If you really want to build your life where you grew up, where you're born, where your family is, go take a trade. Go take a blue collar trade. You would be much more better off. But seriously, a university education right now, just like Alex says, is pointless. For what you would pay nowadays, I don't know how much you pay. It's probably like $50,000 a year. Take $10,000. Go travel. You know, for me, the two greatest schools of life have been sports and traveling. You learn not only about the world, but you learn about yourself. Put yourself in a position where you don't even speak the language, can't even understand people. It makes you become very, very resourceful like nothing else. And when you're resourceful, that's when you really can tap into your potential. That's when you can really get to know yourself, what you want, what you don't want. And then network. Go put yourself. You know, there's a saying that says, we're the average of the 5 people we spend most time with. So if you're with 5, fat and lazy people, will be the 6th one. If you're with 5 broke people, will be the 6th. But put yourself in a position, an environment where you have only entrepreneurs who are all very health conscious. They work out, and you will see these guys are nothing. They're not smarter than me. They're not better than me. They're just more disciplined, more committed, and they know what they want. That's going to rub off of you. This is probably one of the greatest things you can do. Put yourself in a place where you have a lot of entrepreneurs. For example, Thailand is great for that. Bali, Malaysia, Philippines to some extent. Colombia used to be good. Berlin is pretty good. Put yourself in a place like that. Come with some savings, say $15,000, $20,000. That's going to buy you 1 year. And within that 1 year, put yourself in an environment that's going to inspire you, that's going to elevate you, not an environment that's going to bring you down. And then see what you like, learn a skill, and so to speak, make shit happen.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Where you got to surround yourself with people that, the type of people that you want to be, or it's just like sports. If you're playing with a bunch of kids, you're not going to improve your skills. But you play with people that are better than you, you're going to become better. It's just a natural thing that happens. Fresh Aloha says, "What's up, Alex? I'll be there in August. Can't wait. I truly believe in the USA, great to make money, but Philippines, great to make a relationship and family." Sure. Yeah, I agree too. So this is me with the podcast. I also put the link there, guys, for Lorenzo's YouTube channel, of course. Fresh Law, I love your guest philosophy. I agree with him. I've always said better to be dead and not know life than to alive, and basically better to be dead and know life than to be alive and not know life. Live
Exactly.
your dreams. I agree. Thank you for this interview. I want to visit Malaysia, so we went over that one. Can you be a dual citizen of Canada and Malaysia?
I'm not sure, but honestly, no, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Malaysia is very hard to get. Well, it's impossible to get citizenship. I met a lady on Thursday. She's been here for 26 years.
Wow.
She has PR, but she cannot get the citizenship. But as long as you come from a Western country, your passport is good to go. Just
Yeah, you don't
use
really
your
need a
passport.
citizenship. Yeah,
Yeah. For me, the greatest asset for Canada after family is my passport. Seriously, the passport opens the world for you. Keep your European or North American passport and explore. And if you want to get like long-term residency, you can look into say proper work visa, starting a business, or even getting married once you meet the right person.
for sure. Lorenzo, man, we're reaching a 1 hour mark. Like we said earlier, I don't know what you got to do. If you just want to wait for the text message, the guy's picking you up, your friend, or if you want to call it quits right now, this was a lovely conversation. Let me know what you want to do. You want to continue or do you want to?
Let me first of all, how was the quality of the sound? Another microphone, I did a test, it was
No,
pretty
everything's
low.
great. It's awesome. I can hear you and see you perfectly well.
Okay, let me just quickly send a message to my friend to see where it's at.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm just gonna.
let's take a quick break, maybe for 2 minutes,
I'll
and
see you
resume.
back in 2 minutes. I'll remove you from
Yes.
the stream, but you'll be there. Okay. All right, guys. So that is Lorenzo, a good friend of mine. I met him twice, once in Toronto back home. He took me out for lunch. Nice gentleman because he was a subscriber to the channel. And we've been talking since then regularly. And I met him also in Kuala Lumpur when I was there. He's really a good person. Honestly, he wants to live his life the way he wants to live. A lot of us don't have the opportunity to travel because we have other obligations, other responsibilities. But if you're in a position to see the world, I highly recommend it. It's something that has been a passion of mine since I was young, since I was traveling, and I'm blessed and lucky enough to be doing it. And so is he, guys. So if this motivates you guys in any way, if it gets you thinking, maybe it gets those gears grinding in your brain about trying to leave your current situation, just take a chance because one thing you can be safe, you can do everything that you're supposed to do, and you can still fail. So just because you're doing something that's safe doesn't mean you're going to be happy, right? So let me try to get to some of these questions and comments. And if you're new right now, please hit the like button. I don't know, do the usual stuff. Oh, I just released a video yesterday. It's doing really well. I think almost at 20,000 views in a day about describing the Philippines in just one word. So maybe check that out after this. It's pretty fun, I think. Um, let's go to some of these questions. I hope you invest in the Philippines. It's one of the potential marketplaces in the world. Canada is a melting pot of a lot of Filipinos, Chinese, and Indians. Yeah, guys, Philippines, I've said it since day one. Since I came here, I remember within the first week, I'm not even like a entrepreneur. I don't care about money. I'm not very ambitious when it comes to stuff like that because I'm just not. That's not who I am. But the Philippines is probably one of the most one of the best markets for starting a business and investing in here. But the only thing I'll say is just to know the right people and how to go about it. Make sure you know the laws and things like that because the Philippines is a developing country, the standards or the requirements and all the other stuff isn't as clear as it might be in some other countries. So if you want to invest here, it's a great opportunity. Just be sure to do your homework because yeah, it's a great country for sure. And there's always something going on here. I see lots of. I spoke to somebody yesterday. He's been here for 4 years. He was initially brought here to help with the building of the bridge that's now connecting Mactan to Cebu City, and he liked it here so much. And now he's doing his own business of installing solar panels. He's doing really well for himself. So something like that, there's so many business opportunities here. And brings me back to Peter's initial question. Sorry, before we even got started, Peter asked me a question. Alex, would you ever start a business in the Philippines outside of YouTube, for example, like a restaurant? And I imagine you need to be somewhat fluent in the Tagalog or have a Filipino girlfriend or that. For that, you definitely don't need anybody to start a business here. First, to make things easier, the language is not an issue. Most people speak English here. Pretty much everybody speaks English. The only thing would be just to get around the red tape or put certain things in her name if it's a business that requires a physical location, something like that. I'm not sure about the details, but would I start a business here? 100%. Restaurant? No, there's too much overhead in a restaurant, but I would start a food stall, like at a night market. First of all, the space you're renting is very small, very cheap, and your profit margins are much greater. Plus, you have a specific target, and the foot traffic is unbelievable at that night market Wednesday through Sundays. And I have these business ideas in my head. If I ever were to be here permanently with, let's say, like you mentioned, Filipino wife or something, If I is going to be a permanently, then yeah, I would definitely consider that. Okay, welcome back, Lorenzo. What's the word, my man? Are you going to say goodbyes right now, or are we going to continue?
No, I messaged my buddy that will be I'll be done by 11. So let's rock and roll, brother.
All right, let's keep this going. We got a lot of questions.
I love this. We should do that more often, brother. And I want
Yeah,
to
for
add you on
sure,
my
bro.
show.
Anytime you let me know. What happened to your video feed? There we go.
Let's. How is the quality now? And
Now
once
it's
again, I
better.
apologize. It's not the best setup and it's not the best sound, but
They understand. My viewers and subscribers, they're very understandable. This happens to me occasionally with the Philippines internet, so they're used to it.
hey, this is the
East
price of
Coast
travel with
refugee.
freedom. Hey, I'm willing to pay that.
Exactly, right? Nothing's going to be perfect, right? You want that stability, you better go back to your 9 to 5. So, yeah, do your thing. East Coast refugee says, I'm starting a business, tech startup with Nomad Visa. It's interesting. East Coast refugee, feel free to hire me, man. I'm serious. I'm always looking down to work with people like yourself, startups or whatever. Send me an email whenever you're ready. Who knows? Maybe I can be able to promote your business, do something. This is what networking does, right? So that opens up many opportunities and doors, and you can meet different people. Your goals can align. Your ambitions can be on the same path, and things can
And
happen when you
Alex,
meet.
you just pointed on something that is tremendously powerful in transformation is using and leveraging YouTube as a platform to network and work with people like-minded. Nowadays, I only do business with people I met on my podcast. My publisher, she was a guest on my podcast. She became one of my students. And now she's my publisher, my copywriter, my web guy, everybody. So, and again, seeing you with East Coast Refugee now, beautiful. Run with it, guys. Make something happen.
Not?
Yes.
I agree for sure, bro. Lorenzo, are there a high influx of foreigners traveling and living in Malaysia?
Yes, there's a fair amount of foreigners, but nowhere near what you would see in Thailand. And again, that's another beautiful positive I see here. But again, because Malaysia is very underrated, very under the radar, because a lot of people have this impression that it's a Muslim country, it's not fun. Yes, we want to keep it that way. Keep the riffraff away, please.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed too. It was just like very impressive. Number one, a lot less touristy kind of people walking around. When you see a group of people, you can easily tell if they're on a 2-week vacation or they've been here long enough. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I didn't see as much people that come there is either just through transit. So let's say they stop by the Petronas Towers for a few hours and they got to go back.
Do a visa run, for example.
Do a visa run, yeah. Or they're actually professionals making, like you said, networking here because of all the industries that are popular.
One thing that I don't miss is like in Thailand, see all those people wearing those elephant pants, people that have not taken a shower in a week. I don't want to get started with these guys. So please stay in Thailand, do whatever you want.
I mean, you're at a different stage in your life right now. That's why, right? So in your 20s, that shit was exciting. Like, oh my God, let's go here, let's go there, let's see this and that. And then you stay with this group of people for a long time, and maybe shower isn't your priority, experiences and all that stuff is. But as you get older, you do all those things in your past, and you just want to have a nice set of clothes on, fresh shower and all that. Let's continue here. Highly combustible reacts. Super glad I found your channel. Been lurking and listening for a bit. I 100% agree. Go explore. Just because someone else already discovered it doesn't mean you shouldn't. Another great point. Yeah, guys. So now, if you've never been to Thailand, don't get discouraged. You should go to Thailand. 100%, right? But I think because Lorenzo and myself have been to so many places and we kind of have an idea where we want to go in the future or where we are now, for us, some of these places aren't as exciting as they were at one point. Mango and cash. Business in the Philippines equals high investment, low return. Yeah, that's another thing as well, right? So here, I think, I don't know, it depends on what business you're in, but I've never been a part of it. I can't really relate. So too many.
If I may make a suggestion for that person and any other person, build a business that you can take with you, that you don't have to physically invest in the Philippines or Malaysia, whatever, because things can change. The point is build a business online.
Yeah.
That's the point. You make money, just like the Tim Ferriss principle of geo arbitrage. You make money in a hard currency, in a euro, dollars, pounds, where currency is high, and you spend in a place where the currency is lower. This is the basis of geo arbitrage: buy low, sell high.
Yeah, I agree.
All this principle in the world.
For sure. Or like sell a lot of like one item that is cheap, or sell a few of them at a high price. So there's a lot of like basic business ideas, right? Um,
Corporations have been doing that for decades, and why not us? They've
no,
been going to countries to hire cheap labor. I mean, they are, there's a lot of ethical issues. I'm not gonna get into that, but they've been doing it. But we're doing it in a way that we're not harming anyone, and actually boosting the economy, doing good.
yeah.
So it's a win-win.
I agree. And as an individual, I don't think our impact will be significant enough in either way to make a
Yeah.
difference to the people in that country. Me going to Argentina is not going to save them from recession.
No.
But it might maybe make a difference in my life and someone that might be close to me, like the person serving me a coffee, or the
Yeah.
person I'm renting from, or something like that. So
One thing I want to touch into. You mentioned something briefly just a few seconds ago, is that I would recommend, and everybody was starting to look to start a business, go into a high ticket. That's much better, because all else being equal, is going to take the same amount of money, effort, time, sweat, and blood to sell something that is $500 or $1,000, $5,000. That a little trinket is going to be $5. So if you're going to put the same amount of effort, money, time, and all that, why make $5 as opposed to make $500, $1,000? That's something that's one of the most powerful principles I learned a long time ago, 10, 15 years ago, and after that, I've never looked back.
yeah. No, I agree 100%, right? So you're doing all the work anyways. Why not try to offer at a higher price? Plus, that way you attract higher valued customers or higher
Big time.
income customers, right? So
And it's a lot easier to sell, say, one or two, whatever it is, services, memberships, or high ticket products at $2,000 than 2,000 at $2. And just like Alex said, you attract, the more someone pays for something, the better they will be to deal with, because they understand the value of your time, of your money. Some of my worst clients have been people that, when I try to offer discounts, they're going to expect the moon, and they're going to call you at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if they don't get results in 10 seconds, they can call you a scam. As opposed to someone is going to pay you $5,000. They understand it. You give them the instructions, they follow, and when they question, they respect your time, they come back to you. You attract a much higher caliber of people when you charge more. And when you charge more, people will take you more seriously. So
yeah, I agree 100%. It's just like it's a psychological thing too, right? If there's something for free, or very low, somebody might question, why is it so cheap? Why is it so low? But if you put a medium price on it, or something even expensive, people automatically associate value to that item, because okay, this must be worth the price, because why would it be that expensive?
Exactly.
Philip Massey says, I think Lorenzo joined a live stream in the past, or a video. Yeah, we did a full video with Lorenzo, like an actual sit down, in depth, one-on-one interview. I think actually that video did fairly well compared to other videos. Yeah, and Kale.
Oh, really? So, yeah. Okay, nice.
I think, I don't know how many thousands, but it did well, a lot better than some other in-depth interviews.
Hey, by the way, I just want to take this moment to congratulate you and give you the credits, because when we met in Toronto, your channel is just under 20,000 subscribers?
I think so, yeah.
And now you're closing to what? I don't know, I haven't checked the numbers, but close to 100,000. Maybe you've passed that already?
I haven't passed 100,000 yet. We're around the 90,000 mark, so just
see
under that.
There you go.
So but it's gonna happen.
On that for the hard work, for the sweat, blood, and you know what is the craziest part about this, that Alex has been able to do it. Maybe he's changed it. Last time we talked, he said you've been building your empire on your freaking cell phone, not even a computer.
Not a computer, buddy. Just on my cell phone still. This is what I use to edit my videos. This is what I use to do everything I need to do. And I don't even pay for any software editing program or anything. So that's it.
On my podcast, I'm always looking for people who have not just inspiring and empowering stories, because we all do. But I'm looking for people who have goosebump inducing stories. And you, Alex, is your prime example. So whenever you're ready and you want, my door's open to have you on my show.
All right, man. Thank you for the invite. I'll consider. I'm a little bit private.
Consider.
I'll be honest. It's weird. It's not weird, but because I think it's ironic where I put my face on camera on a daily
Yeah.
basis, but I don't like taking pictures. That's a weird kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I think that kind of philosophy applies with the interviews as well. I've done so many of them by now. I feel like people know what I want to share. But I'll be more than happy to come on yours. Let me know what date works for you. I'll join your.
Anytime.
Okay, well, you let me
But
know when.
seriously, man, kudos to building almost 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel on just a freaking cell phone. That's something as a crazy tagline that you need to use that in your. Now is the time for you to launch your own academy, brother.
I will. I will. This is all in the works. So I just launched memberships like
Good.
a couple weeks ago, I think, right? So some people have been kind enough to support the channel through memberships. And then I'm going to do merchandise as well. And one of the things is going to be downloadable digital content, which is going to show you exactly what to do, how to travel, if you want to build a YouTube channel. And I'm going to be the prime example. This is not going to be like a compilation of Google searches or whatever. This is going to be from my personal experience I'm going to give proper links and exactly how to do it. And for example, if I'm going to make a video how to get from the airport to your hotel, I'm not going to just say it. I'm going to go to the airport. I'm going to take that taxi and I'm going to show everybody step by step on what to do and how to do it. So that way people can go ahead and download that content, of course, for a price, but they can get everything they need to know just from my experience perspective and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of big project, but it's coming up in the future.
Yeah.
Let's go to Frank. So far, this is a very interesting live chat. I plan to move from the Philippines this year from Southwest Florida. This is the most I've learned about Malaysia. Well, I'm glad, Frank. Philippines is great, but there's a lot of countries out there, So Philippines is great for many reasons. I stay here because it's my favorite, but doesn't necessarily mean it has to be yours, right? So Lorenzo is in a different part of his life, different ambitions, different goals. He's got different projects going on. For him, KL is the place to be. And I can see why, for sure.
I love the creative comforts of KL, the first world amenities. Mine, that doesn't mean you don't have that in the Philippines. I enjoyed my time in the Philippines. So another beautiful aspect about the Philippines, Alex, that people need to know is that Philippines is probably the most friendly place in terms of long-term stay without just on a tourist visa. You can stay up to 3 years without leaving the country. You can renew your visa in the country and then just leave the country for a day, come back in another 3 years. So that gives you plenty of time. Other countries don't do that. So that's a major plus for the Philippines.
It's the biggest plus, and I hope they don't change it as these new rules are going to be coming into play. They're considering making that only 2 years and also requiring you to have an exit clearance at the second month. I don't know, because I think if Philippines does that, they're going to like immediately
shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, for sure, because Philippines is competing with Thailand, and that's one of the only reasons people are choosing the Philippines over Thailand. Let's be honest, that the language itself, and because not everybody knows the Filipino people are kind until they get here. But before that point, they're just looking at two like visa situation, English, and also the duration of stay. Anyway, so that's a whole different topic. Now, Spy says your guest in yesterday's video ended with saying fun and dangerous as his last words to describe the Philippines. It seemed he was enjoying the country, so his danger or dangerous word was very shocking to me. Well, Spy, I think that, okay, let me put that in context. I don't think it's a negative thing. I think he's saying it's dangerously fun, as in you're going to be stuck here, because he was talking about coming back to the Philippines for 18 years consecutively now. So that the word itself, dangerous, I think you're looking at it too literally. I think his point was you might fall in love with this place, and that's dangerous, as in like he has to go back and forth between the U.S. and the Philippines. And I don't think it meant as in like violence or crime danger or something like that, because I think he means danger in that sense, that this is almost like a drug or like an addiction, or because you've been coming for 18 years, so it can be dangerous in that sense. But because nothing he said up to that point hinted at anything to do with danger. That's how I took it. And also, it's like a woman, right? She's gorgeous, but she's dangerous. So you don't mean like she's gonna stab you, right? But she might break your heart, or you might fall in love with her, or something like that. So I don't think it was a bad thing.
Maybe dangerous can be in the sense that it's gonna steal your heart.
That's what I'm saying, right? That in that sense, I don't think it was like a negative thing. And a lot of people brought that up in the comment section. I haven't addressed it until now, so that's out of the way. 100% just moved back from the States from the 8 years of Pattaya. Thailand is a must. All right, my man.
I'll have to grab a beer with you, because I'm sure you could have some incredible stories, my friend.
Yeah, no, for sure. Pattaya is an incredible place. I've been there a few times. I like it. And it's more than just the nightlife and the night scene, the bars and all that. It's got so many beaches and little hidden gems, and even the temples there. It's got this wooden temple. It's incredible.
Activity. I found out that like a kart racing track.
Oh, they do, and they
I want to do next time.
and all the water sports. Like they have so much water sports that I could not really afford in Canada. Actually, we don't even have a beach really, except for Sable Beach. I think it's the nearest one to us. I don't even know.
Is another good thing, and being a Pattaya in Thailand in general in Asia, I was able to get when I was in Pattaya. I was there for a weekend just before flying to Malaysia. I wanted to get some suits made, so I went there to a random shop. I swear to you, man, I was on a Sunday night, 11 p.m. I just walked into a shop. Nice Indian guy. We talked for a few minutes. He told him that I'm looking. He thought I was serious. He asked me, hop on my bike. I hopped on his bike. He took me to his other store at 11 o'clock. He called his boss, opened the store again for me.
Yeah.
I was there for one suit, but he basically, I agreed for one suit and 3 blazers.
Yeah.
And again, they're amazing qualities. So again, don't sleep on that. When you're in Thailand, get some custom-made suit that would cost you, like I had all of these for like $600. Like 15,000 baht. How much is that? $600, something like this. Exactly. One suit and 3 blazers and shirts and ties. And Canada, even off the rack, is going to be $400
easily. Yeah, and then it's not even fitted right. You know, you get this size.
You're going to be swimming in it. You know.
Yeah, you especially short guy like me, or my chest is big, my waist is small. Like there's too many things going on here for me. So if you go to Thailand, definitely the fabric shops. Of course, be careful because they do scam you. I'll be fair and honest. Well, not scam you. They try to sell you things, upsell like anything, anywhere in the world. But if you feel comfortable, I've seen signs that say for $200 they give you 2 suits, 2 shirts, and 2 pants, or you'll see them posted everywhere. Anyways, but they make excellent quality fabric suits if you want. So take a look at that. What are we talking about here? Somebody said my first choice of Asia was Malaysia because of the healthcare and the food is a lot better. Not island locked. Yeah, exactly. Can road travel to other countries, but I met a Filipino. I went back to the Philippines. Yeah, it is what it is. The Filipinos are amazing people and they're caring. And sometimes, it's funny, not funny, but I can't remember which country I went to, but this was years ago and I met one person there and she happened to be a Filipina. So this is funny how you mentioned that because the Filipinos are working everywhere as well. The teachers, nurses, caregivers. And they speak English, which is great. So guys, before we get to this, we got 35 people watching this. Take a quick second to like the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Consider using the super chat and super stickers to get your question answered faster. And check out channel memberships where I go into a lot deeper topics for a paid monthly subscription, but you get a lot more for it, including a 1-hour video call with myself to help you with anything you want in life that you're going through right now, building a YouTube channel, coming to the Philippines, yada, yada, yada. Let's go on to the next one here. Questions. Alex is one of the few who tells straight in the Philippines. I will say that. Well, thank you. No, I'm not trying to win fans over here. Like, of course, I like the views and all that, but I'm not going to tell people this is what it is when it's not. You offend one or two people, but it is the truth. Like the other day, somebody got offended because I mentioned the internet isn't the greatest. They go, I have great internet. I'm like, yeah, you do. Maybe because you're living in BGC. But the fact that you see it demonstrated on my live streams, half the time the internet connection goes in and out. Or like I'm out here every day working on the internet. So, and what I use it for may not be the same as just surfing Facebook or something, right? So there's nothing to be offended about. It's still a developing country and it's come a long way. But I'm not going to come and tell a digital nomad to come here, go live on an island, and he's going to have great internet. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie to people. All right. What else? Should we continue reading some more? Oh, I don't even know where my... Let me take a break. Lorenzo, you say some words now while I take a sip of my water and find my spot in the comment section.
What do you want me to say, sir? If you have any questions? One thing I want to say about Malaysia as a tip. When you guys come to Malaysia, if you really want to get the most of the Malaysia, I would say bring some quality clothes because there's some amazing venues that you can go. You need to be dressed well. And I mean blazers and suit. There's some very high level places. that you definitely need to check out when you come to Kale. And if any one of you comes to Kale, get in touch with me. I would be your guide. I'm not charging you money. I'm not doing it for money, just because I love sharing this beautiful place with you guys. So yeah, bring your A style game here, especially if you're a guy, you want to date, be dressed nicely here, because here you need to, one of the things I learned about life and business and everything, it's you need to stand out, because
Yeah,
competition is tougher and fiercer everywhere on everything, business, relationships, dating, everything. So what can you do to set yourself apart? Do whatever you can, and dressing is probably one of the easiest way to do so. You're
I
not
agree.
dressing for them. And also when you dress well yourself, it makes you feel better. It gives you more
And more
confidence.
confident. Yeah,
And people
easily.
see that. And women, what they find the most attractive is confidence in a man.
Confidence. More
Yes,
than anything. That's one thing I've
not just
learned
the
early
women,
on.
even the men. If you walk into a room and you're confident, guys will come talk to you.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean they're hitting on you. Just as a man to man, have a conversation.
I agree completely, 100%. Antonio says, "True, bro. All is welcome in the Philippines. Business opportunities because new roads and bridges are being built. So many beautiful views will be revealed. Friends to all, enemies to none." Well said again. The Philippines is still up there with business opportunities. Everything is being built around me. Even this morning, I woke up to banging of the construction. I don't know if you guys can hear it now, but either way, it's happening and it's popping. It's going to be even more
7 o'clock.
successful at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so
Holy
just
smoke!
on a
So at
Saturday
seven
morning.
o'clock, you have a construction guy, and at 4 o'clock, that you have a rooster.
Luckily, I live too central for roosters, but I know if you go about 5 kilometers in each direction, you're gonna hear the roosters.
Well, here's another
Um,
thing in Malaysia that will wake you up is the call to prayer. So make sure you get a unit that is high and that you have very good isolated windows.
okay, I never heard the call to prayer in Malaysia. I heard it every day in Turkey, but I guess it really depends on where you're living, your proximity to the.
Here in Georgetown, the third floor of a low building, and this morning at 5 o'clock, it was loud, as if it was right in my ear. Sure, there's a mosque literally 200 meters from here,
Yeah,
but in Kuala Lumpur, there's a mosque in every street. But because I live in a 34th floor, I don't hear it. But here,
yeah,
it's a different story.
yeah. It's gonna wake you up, so you better get used to that. um, Fresh aloha, Alex. You're welcome, Alex. You're awesome. I'd like to ask your guests some advice. I wrote 7 books on respect. I occasionally do a leadership seminar here in the California, USA. I'm thinking of doing it in the Philippines to supplement my income.
Fresh, I would love to connect with you. This is what I do in my business. I coach my students to be able to share their story, display their expertise, and connect heart to heart. The camera doesn't show it, but heart to heart with your client. And I would love to have a conversation with you. Let's connect. And seminars in the Philippines, yes, but the market is pretty small, and especially if you want to charge the same amount of money you want to charge in the US, that's not going to happen. Or the market is going to be tiny, tiny, minuscule. Instead, be based in the Philippines and do your seminars online, or say in the Western world, in a place like Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, where people can actually afford to pay you according to the transformation that you're offering.
Mhm.
So if you want to talk about that, I'd be happy to connect and to chat and brainstorm together.
All right, great advice for sure. Philip Massey says, I agree that Malaysia is way under the radar. Do you think the infrastructure is better than the Philippines, KL versus Cebu, in terms of modern amenities? Bro, we're talking about dragons and snails over here, or something. I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah, it's very, very different in Malaysia.
Listen, Kuala Lumpur, especially in the KLCC, would stand with any city in the world. Would even make New York City or Toronto look like third world.
I
I'm
agree.
not joking.
KL is probably one of the most advanced cities I've seen,
Clean.
in every clean and like this. It's just, I guess maybe Singapore is the only one that would come close recently that I've traveled to.
Singapore is extreme, but Singapore, like, they're very anal. If you even throw anything on the floor, you're gonna get like fine. And no,
Yeah,
and Singapore is very expensive. So KL is the best. What makes KL so good is that it is extremely high quality, yet it's still very affordable.
it is very affordable. And I was staying near New Central, and it
Yes,
was,
amazing area.
but it was
I
only
stay
four
there.
stops away from KLCC, right? So,
Yeah,
and it
three
was
stops.
probably 3 stop, and it's probably half the price probably of the apartment So if you do stuff like that, if you're not like you're really central, you're like right there, right? However, if you still want like because your budget is higher than mine, for example, so that's how you can supplement the difference by just taking
Yeah.
a three ride stop on a proper train system that gets there on time every day, and it'll take you less than 20 minutes to be in exactly where you are, for example. But you can save a lot by staying
Yeah.
slightly on the outskirts of KLCC, and not even really the outskirts because this new central is pretty like popular. I didn't realize there was so many connected train station and bus
Oh,
stations
it's
and everything
huge.
there. It's huge,
You know,
yeah.
it's confusing when you go to a train station. I think we went to once together. There was like on
Yeah.
the elevated train, there's like five different lines, five
Yeah.
different colors, and say which one do we take? Even the guy sitting in the booth, he doesn't know. Sometimes, most of the time, it's so many
Even
lines.
this is what I'm saying. So even the train system, transportation system puts the TTC, the Toronto
Oh,
system,
come on.
to shame. Like it's like
TTC, it takes them 20 years to extend one lousy little line, whereas here is like, come on.
that's why I always laugh when I see places like China that build a hospital in seven
Oh,
days. Like what?
around the clock.
I don't
I was
understand it. It's
I
like
lived there for 4 years, and literally in four, even in a week, you can see the environment around you change. Literally,
it's insane. But you know how Canada is. The construction workers, they probably put in 1 hour of work. The rest of the day they're chilling and hanging out because they have a budget. Every year they have to renew that budget. So if they do something quick and fast and cheap, then they will that
have you
budget's gonna
seen
go
the
up.
movie, the series on Netflix, House of Cards?
I no, I haven't. I saw one
It's
episode.
something similar because it's all a political power. Okay, you give
Yeah,
me a contract for this. You have
yeah.
a budget. Let's overspend. In Toronto, the Kings at starting projects and closing down roads, but never finishing it.
Never finishing. Yeah, like for example, Dufferin and what is it? I don't know, but
Eglinton
you know
is
what?
completely all the time,
Eglinton.
24/7. It's like a complete work site.
Since the '90s, bro. It's been literally 40 years later. And I'm like, what is happening here? So, anyways, that's the whole different thing. We got
Yeah.
44 people watching. If you're just joining, I'm just talking to Lorenzo, who's in Malaysia right now, a fellow Canadian who chooses to live in Asia rather than Canada for many reasons. So,
And I
feel
love
free to,
Canada. See,
yeah, of course. And that's the thing, people, I don't say this enough. I love Canada too. At this stage of my life, it's just not the right place for me. Um, and I want to just explore a little bit. So I've been lucky enough to be online earning
yeah,
to do that, right? And as we talked several times, the Canadian passport, the native English language skills, and all these things that we have as a
yeah,
privilege. It's
absolutely.
not that we don't understand this. I think Lorenzo, you and I are very aware of ourselves and what, like that we're lucky. So that's not the
Speaking of
issue.
that, I will share a personal story. Like,
Yeah.
I will say something. I was born in Afghanistan, but the
Yeah.
greatest gift my parents gave me was being Canadian. So on the way back this time around to Malaysia, I flew from Toronto to New York, JFK to Doha, Qatar, and Qatar to Malaysia. And in Qatar, I was standing in line. I was dressed wearing a blazer and all that, but that's the difference. But in front of me, there were workers from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, workers that go there to work. And these guys had these forms and they were interrogated, questioned, and there was one of the workers for the airline just walking by and looked at me and said, "Where are you from, sir?" I said, "Canada." I said, "Okay, the line for the first line is right here. Come here, sir."
Yeah.
Just because of my passport.
Just because your passport. That's
I
it.
go anywhere, no questions asked, stamp on
Yeah.
arrival.
It's
Welcome,
true.
sir.
It's true. And
Yeah.
it happened to me with Palm. She's from Thailand. We went to Malaysia. She's the only one out of the four people that we're traveling with. All of us were Canadians, except for her. She was Thai. She's the only one that didn't get the stamp. And then I started yelling in the middle. It was really bad, actually. I lost my cool. I shouldn't. You should never lose your cool at
No.
an airport. But it was clear discrimination. And we're traveling as a group of people, of four, and we're all going to the same hotel, same everything. Yet she's the only one that didn't get that approval stamp. And we had to go to a secondary room. So that's the strength of your passport, being Canadian, right? So, and that's something that I never take for granted. That is my biggest flex, even over
Yeah.
obviously YouTube channel or anything like that. So, for sure.
This is why I will be tremendously grateful for Canada. Each time I cross, I land in a new country, I get that stamp without any questions. Seriously, I become emotional. I get goosebumps. I always thank my parents, my mother and father. Now they're in with God. I always thank them. This is the greatest gift you gave me, one of the greatest gifts. So I will always be grateful for Canada.
Yeah.
And so I love my country, Canada. Canada's my country, but I've been able to see that there is other place I'd like to experience and live, because life is a school, life is a buffet. Go explore.
Exactly. And at that buffet, if steak is your favorite thing, if Canada is
Yeah.
your steak, someday you want to try seafood, some salad, some pasta, it is what it is. So
Maybe
I
this
think
week
it's
you want to try seafood. Next week you want to try vegetarian. The other week you want to stay steak or Chinese, Japanese, whatever. Go for it.
yeah, and I think we're in a position to be able to do that. So the biggest shame would be not to take advantage of our Canadian
Absolutely.
passport, right? So I look at it that way. Next, Mango and Cash. The Philippines has become a booming economy with large corporations investing, yes, from China, Korea, America, Taiwan, but small businesses with common expats moving here. You have to compete with Filipinos at low cost. That's true, right? But that's the thing, Mango and Cash. You don't want to come here and compete with Filipinos for
No.
low cost. That's not where your market should be. Your market should be uh, foreigners or people that have money here. So if I were to start a business, I'm not going to try to, let's say I start a hot dog stand. I know it sounds silly, but like that's really American, right? But don't take my idea, people. So
Trade market.
trademark it right now. I'm telling you, if I see a hot dog stand pop up here. Anyway, so the point is, I'm not going to price it low so people can buy it. I'm going to price it high so people can look at it as a luxury thing. Say, wow, this hot dog must be the best in town. Or, so that's the thing, because I've learned at a very young age. People don't, like, if you price something for low, you're going to draw that kind of people. And those kind of people
The
are not
wrong
long
people.
term. Yeah. And then that's just like my house back in Canada. I could have rented it lower so people can rent it out quicker, but I didn't want to, because then I'd have to probably deal with not getting rent on time, maybe somebody that maybe lose a job or something not stable. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. There's different
Flashy place.
markets. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think people should not aim to compete with Filipinos. If you're coming here as a foreigner, you should compete with foreigners and other investors, maybe. Hello, Alex. Hello, Steve. I'm from Washington, D.C. Washington Wizards, huh? What part of the Middle East guest is from Alex? Oh, you just said from Afghanistan. So, Alex, I envision 100,000 subs by September. You rock, brother.
Oh, a lot sooner. I would say by mid-July.
Mid-July. Yeah, that's being really aggressive. 3 weeks. I think we can do it. Why not? You know, I was, before coming to the Philippines this time around, I think it was a 76K, and I thought maybe by September, October, I can get to 100K. But I think at this rate, if I stay here, if I continue the way we are, we're going to get there much sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be cool. I never thought my channel would reach 100,000 subscribers. And Lorenzo, you know how difficult it is to get one person to even subscribe to your channel, right? So it's not an easy thing, and I don't know. I don't
Listen,
really care
my
about
YouTube
that.
channel is, is completely laughable, because right now I sit at exactly 1,287 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started, for 90% of the life of my channel, I started in October of 2020 with that less than 200 subscribers. But I don't monetize my channel that way. My channel is long interviews. But that didn't stop me from getting in 10 months 60 clients, because for me it's not about the numbers, it's about the connection. Because what is business at the end of the day? It's not a numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately it's a relationship nurturing process. And I use podcasting and YouTube channel as a way to get to know my audience, and for them to get to know me, connect heart to heart, not to sell, but to connect. And once you connect, then doing business, a natural, automatic, organic progression. There's no need to sell, to pitch, or as I like to say in a funny way, there's no need to seduce or kidnap someone to do business. Hey, what do? I do X for Y. Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's connect. Sure.
Yeah. No, your channel is completely different, right? So of course you can't compare apples to oranges. Even I'd rather have 5,000 subscribers that are loyal and watch every video than have 100,000 subscribers that might only watch certain videos or random
Not
videos
even
and not care.
Carry, absolutely, anytime.
So, and yeah, for business purposes, those numbers don't matter. It's the connections you make and what you get from those. So 60 clients, I'll take that over like 100,000 K subscribers any day, right? So yeah, so it doesn't really matter in that sense for sure. Thanks, Fresh Aloha. Dari, hey Alex, stopping in, good guest, having a mixed inventory. Yeah, it's important to capture the various economic levels that exist. Yeah, that's true too. So it depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's always good to offer different things at different price points, because not everybody can afford it. Not everybody has the same income. And just like my memberships, the lowest one's only $4.99. The highest one is $149.99. So to somebody that might be like a ridiculous amount of money to pay for a YouTuber, but to somebody it might be a great deal because they get like in-depth analysis, like video call.
Hey, tell me more about your program, Alex. I'm interested. Tell me more.
So I just launched memberships. Basically, it's a paid subscription monthly, and starting at $4.99, you get to be part of the just members only on the channel.
So four
You
ninety
get
nine is it $4.99? Is it $499? What is it?
no, it's just $4.99. So
Okay.
so less than the price of a cup of a coffee. And actually, a lot of
$5.
times my subscribers they buy stickers and super chats and all that, so they pay more than that just on one random shot. So the price level is $4.99, but you get loyalty badges, stickers, members only live stream. So if we do a live stream like this, it's only members, and then it goes up to like $14.99 and $29.99, and it just keeps escalating. You get more and more. So at $29.99, I give my own personal WhatsApp number. They can get member shout outs, behind the scene footage, like bloopers. Because a lot of times these interviews, there's people like fixing their hair, giggling, or making mistakes, or it's just some funny stuff that I don't share on the channel. And then at $149.99 is you get 1 hour consultation with myself, like a video call like this. How to do whatever, how to travel Asia, what kind of jobs to get, how to start a YouTube channel, or if they just want to talk to me for an hour. And then they also get a personalized video. So if you want me to make a video about will you date a guy with kids, for example, then I'll go out there and make that actual video with all those questions.
But one thing that, and I'm sure you, I mean, we talked about that, and I know you have this in the pipeline. Start an academy where you can teach people how to grow a channel. And when you do, I will be your first client. I'm interested.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I appreciate that. I will.
Because I want to know how to grow my little channel from 1287 to 10,000 subscribers, to 20, to eventually to 100,000.
Oh, for sure. And I will do that. And the thing is with these things, it takes time, right? So unfortunately right now, I'm pretty much putting out videos every day at this point. So the schedule goes Monday and Saturday and Thursday are live streams like this. And then 2 or 3 random videos throughout the week about street interviews or other stuff, right? So at some point, I'm going to sit down and offer this digital downloadable content as well. So the channel has merchandise coming up. So a lot of things in the works for sure.
So I remember when we were having that lunch in Toronto, you mentioned that you will launch your academy once you reach 100,000 subscribers. So now that you're just about there, are you going to keep up to that? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. I mean, I'm about to. I guess I'm doing this full time. Initially when I started this channel, just to remember my life, make some videos about my travels. But now this is what's paying the bills. This is how I earn my income, and I don't have to do any other online job. Hopefully, that's the dream, right? So, yeah. And if I'm providing some sort of service, and if I'm making people happy or laugh along the way, why not? So I think it's great.
So anyone watching this right now, either live or even later on, let's help Alex cross 100,000 followers. Share that with people.
Thanks, Lorenzo. I appreciate it, man. Big time. The Filipino people and everybody abroad has been super, super supportive. And I think a lot of it has to do with just me not sugarcoating things or being bullshitting people about like stuff. I don't know. So I see some other channels that they're completely off the rails. I don't know. They do anything to get someone to click. So it's just weird to me. Let's get back to the questions, though. Enough sure. No shame promoting over here. Hey, Alex, stopping. We read that one already. Willie says, Alex, your channel popped when you came back to the Philippines. Congrats. It did. And I'll tell you, actually, I know exactly where my channel popped off for several different reasons. And I'll tell you guys right now. The first one was my interview with Maria, who was a Filipina girl that was just on the street. And she was really attractive. And I could see the numbers just literally on my analytics. Just like
just
shot
put
up.
a beautiful girl on a thumbnail and you're going to get
we all know how that works. Yeah.
Default.
I mean, women sell all the time by default, regardless. And then the second one, I got most of my subscribers, a big chunk from my video that went viral about Indian food. So it has about 19 million views right now. So, of course, mathematically speaking.
Wait, 19 million in total or just for that video?
Just for that video.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, so that one, but it's a bad thing, to be honest.
Why?
Because so that 19 million views, I think got me close to 40,000 subscribers alone. So, that's like 40,000 dead subscribers. They're not going to watch anything I put out. So they're not going to watch it with my Philippines content, my travel content, this kind of show like this. So what that does is tell YouTube that my content is not interesting enough for my own subscribers. So it doesn't push it out to a wider audience. It's not good at all. So I kind of hope I didn't have that.
Have you heard of, I'm sure you might have heard of him, Mr. Beast.
Of course, yeah.
I was watching his, on YouTube, his one video about his life And I was wondering, what can I do to implement some of the things he's been doing, you know? Because for him, is doing things that nobody would do. At first, he would basically read the alphabet, for example, the dictionary. He would count it to 100,000. I'm not asking you to count to 100,000. Maybe you can do count, say, to 100 and in Tagalog, for example. Something
Yeah.
along those lines. Things that are nobody would do because they're hard, but yet there will be people that will be, hey, this is cool, this is unique.
No, but things like that, he's got a whole team around him now, right? So what he
Now,
does
of
now,
course, he has an unlimited budget now for sure.
yeah. So the thing is, one thing I learned about YouTube, it's hard to be diverse. If you do too many
Mm,
random things, it's hard to capture the same,
okay.
because YouTube doesn't know where to put you. Are you a travel channel?
Mm.
Are you information channel? Are you a cooking channel? Are you just entertainment? Like, so it's really true that you do need a niche, you know. So yeah, but it's great if you're just starting a channel. For example, that
Speaking of YouTube, if I may share a little drama I've been having with YouTube. So since 3 weeks ago, I haven't been able to log into my YouTube channel. I haven't been flagged or banned.
hmm,
3 weeks ago, my old computer was getting slow, so I had the brilliant idea of thinking, hey, maybe let me reset my computer to factory setting, basically erasing everything. It's gonna speed it up. So I did that, and after that, I was able to log into everything except when I tried to log into my YouTube channel, it asked me to be verified. And there was one way to do that, for them to send me a 6 to 8 digit verification code through SMS to a phone number I haven't used in 3 years. And then the other alternative is for them to send that same verification code to my email address that I cannot access.
uh,
So I lost access to my account 3 weeks ago. That was on a Friday afternoon. I was completely depressed. I didn't want it because I spent 3 years to build that channel. A lot of blood, sweat, tears, and all that for the past 3 years has been taken away from me. But then I thought maybe I need to restart a new channel because that YouTube channel is the foundation of my business. Long story short, I did some research and I found that Gmail is trying to delete, and that's a warning and a tip I want to give to everyone that either have a YouTube channel or wanting to start a YouTube channel. Gmail is trying to delete all the dormant email addresses. So what I
hmm,
did when I started my YouTube channel, I started a Gmail account specifically for that email address. But that email address I've never used. I logged in 3 years, maybe once or twice. So
okay,
now Gmail is trying to delete all of these. So what you need to do if you have an email address that is important to you but you're not using, make sure you log in at least once a month. Even send an email to yourself, to your main, so that Gmail can say, hey, there's activity.
yeah,
So
hmm,
finally, I met a guy, again, to my YouTube channel here in KL that actually works for YouTube compliance, the corporate office here in Kuala Lumpur. He's an
okay,
expat. He's a friend of mine. So we sat down on Saturday last week. He took my information, and because of his knowledge, he was able to find an option to reset that to send to be able to reset my password on my YouTube channel email to my main email, but I have to wait 30 days.
okay.
So
Well, at
I
least
can't do
hopefully you can
anything
get
until
some.
mid-July. Now I have 24 days to wait because I wasn't looking forward to re-uploading 250 episodes of my podcast manually, plus
Yeah,
doing all the SEOs and all that, all the
yeah.
show notes,
It's
plus
really
losing my subscribers and my views, even though I have not many views or subscribers still. So
still a
keep that in
handful.
mind, guys. If you have a YouTube channel, if you want a YouTube channel, make sure you put a verification email, email that you currently have access to.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing that, Lorenzo. I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people, you save them a bunch of headache. So SGNB says Alex should be one day recognized by Philippines Department of Tourism. One of the few is Immersion Vlogs, Carefree Chris. It's that Carefree Chris, isn't he new? I don't know. Kudos, of course, to this vlogger. Thank you so much, SGB. Actually, I got an email the other day, last week, somebody trying to recognize me for exactly that. I just ignored it. So I don't know if it's. I'm like, I don't know. I trust somebody trying to give me an award because I checked out their channel. I mean, their Facebook group page, and just it was a legit thing. But I felt like they wanted my real name, all full name, birthday, all this personal information. I'm like, they're
Yeah.
trying to do something to me. I don't trust that. So Philip Massey says, when you hit 100K subscribers, Alex, you should splurge on one of those fancy 360 cameras. Never. I'm not gonna be walking around with a selfie stick this high over my head, man. It's too much.
Yeah, too obnoxious.
That's a little too much, and I don't think I need it for my kind of content since it's usually just interviews.
You know what would be cool, Alex, if you can either get someone to work with you or even hire a local to go with you, be your cameraman, and that person can do your video editing.
That's in the works as well, and actually, I'm gonna launch a second channel in August.
Ooh,
But I'm partnering with somebody that's coming down from Italy to make videos with me, and so he's got the editing skills, the camera, and he's
nice.
camera shy. So it's gonna be a two. I'm gonna be the face of the channel. He's gonna do everything else.
What's your
That's
channel
it.
about? Tell us.
We're gonna be focused more into the Philip. Like first, okay, we got 44 people watching this, and I know a lot of people are gonna watch it afterwards. So I might as well share this now. It's in the works. Initially, we wanted to do a completely straight up adult kind of channel. Like go to nightclubs, bars, just basically utilize what we know works on YouTube to make money. And then we realized that's not who we are. That's not what we want to do.
Maybe you
It
can
was-
put it behind a paywall like a Patreon and only for these people on
Yeah,
a website.
But the thing is, like, it's not something we would have been proud of, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not who. At the end of the day, it's not who I am. It's really not who he is. And just
And
because
it's kind of
something
dangerous
works-
because I've seen other guys who have done that, who have get into trouble, have get kicked out of the Philippines.
that too, but to be honest, that didn't even cross our mind because, like,
Yeah.
and if you do it properly enough and you're not like being too vulgar about it, you can still manage to make it work. For example, the idea was to highlight all the nightclubs, the lounges, the rooftop. Like it's a cool idea, and along the way, we can interact with whoever's there, whether local, Filipina, and people want to see that. There's a lot of nightlife.
You know what? One idea that would be amazing for you is actually go to the provinces and live for a day or a week.
Yeah.
Show us his life in the province.
So there you go. So that initial idea got squashed because it wasn't something we want to do. It was kind of sketchy and not cool, right? So now we're thinking about doing exactly that. So basically, a day in the life of a Filipino. So live in the province, hang around with some of these like food delivery guys, or like but in depth kind of like actually documentary style videos where I can be something that I can be proud of instead of just trying to hide behind it just to make money kind of thing. So that's going to happen soon.
You know, there's a guy in the Philippines, I'm sure you must have heard about them, the Hungry Syrian.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. He started like a refugee, like a student fleeing, I think it's from Syria.
Yeah.
And he loved it. The people have been so good to him. His channel blew up, and then now he's just building a channel on philanthropy, just going on the street, blessing people around them, and all the money he makes from that channel goes to help the local. That's something I'm really interested in doing. That's perhaps something that if you go in the Philippines, in the province, showing the life of a province, just an idea.
Oh,
Check out
definitely.
the channel, get the proceeds from that to bless the people.
For sure. If I'm ever in a position to have more than what I need, that's the first thing I want to do.
Absolutely. And that's something I'm very interested. So if you want to do that together,
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that.
I am down
my
100%.
ultimate dream. To build a business, 100% of the proceeds go to help those in need.
One day when I'm big enough, when I have enough finances to support myself, my travels,
Yes.
and my expenses, 100%. I feel more safe anywhere I've been in the Philippines than I did traveling in America in my motorhome for 4 years. Fact. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Philippines is not dangerous in that sense, at least not to me and my lifestyle. Philip Massey, when the person was talking about dangerous, I was thinking getting hit by a bus or getting caught with married Filipina. Yeah, or some random thing. I don't think they're talking about gun violence or something like that. Frank says, I've been considering moving to the Philippines for years from Southwest Florida. Just recently decided also to consider Thailand and Malaysia. Loving this live. Come on, guys. Hit the thumbs up.
Speaking
guys,
of
hit the
safety,
thumbs
one
up.
advice I can give to people applies to the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Brazil, any freaking place in the world. Be respectful. Don't get into argument with the locals, and don't get too drunk. And again, don't get into a fight with the locals, especially in Asia, because they'll kill you. Yes, they might be very friendly and smiling in your face, but don't cross the line.
Yeah, and in these countries, saving face is really important. You cannot
It's
try to
huge.
embarrass somebody in public. No matter how polite and kind they are, they will literally stab you to death. It's not a joke at all.
Don't
You
raise
don't
your
have this
voice.
don't
Yes,
you don't have the same rights as you think you do in your country. You can't
you're
come
a
here
guest.
expecting the same exactly. And you're not hot shit to remember that. No matter how much money you have, nobody knows any of that. They don't care. So if you disrespect somebody in public, chances are you're really gonna see bad results from that. You're absolutely right. Just don't get involved with drugs and shady people, and don't get too
Yes.
drunk and put yourself in a position where
Or
you might,
prostitution.
yeah,
Stay
or
away.
that. Okay, exactly. And then Mango Cash says, depends where you are, or depends where you at with internet. I'm out in the mountains in Valencia Negros. I have gloves. Uh, I think you mean Globe. I have Globe 5G fiber. It has 389 download, 300 upload, almost over 2,000 pesos a month, 42 bucks. Never goes out except with brownouts. Never goes out except for brownouts. We kind of made my point, no?
How
So
often do you get those brownouts?
the brownouts are the blackouts. And somebody from the last live stream said the brownouts happen 3 to 4 times a week. So I don't consider that good internet, to be honest. If you get
Yeah, especially
goes
if it's
hand in
during
hand,
prime time,
right?
I say evening, and North America when you prime of your if you're doing calls
Yeah.
or lives, then you're stuck.
No, I know what you mean, mango and cat. I understand. I get your point, but that's the whole idea, right? The other things that go with the internet, the electricity, or even the speed is fine, but the connectivity, the dropouts, the in and outs, and everything like that. So, Philip Massey, Lorenzo, how do you like the food in Malaysia compared to other Asian
I love
cuisines?
it. Here you have a variety because again, Malaysia is a multicultural country in every sense. You have the Malay, you have the Chinese, you have the Indians. I love spicy, flavorful food like Middle Eastern and Indian food, and you have a plethora of that here. You have Chinese food right here in Penang. You have some of the most amazing Chinese food outside of China, for example. So you have food all over the place. I wasn't a big fan of the Filipino food, especially in the beginning, but I started to grow on it. Thailand, I like the food, but the I was starting to get tired of it. But what I really love about here is the variety and the ease of getting what you want at
Yeah,
very, very affordable rates. For example, you see my stories, Alex, on Instagram. I post picture of what I eat, like literally
yeah,
like amazing dishes. Yesterday, when we first got here in Penang, we stopped at a typical Chinese place. I had a big, maybe half chicken, what do you call it, boiled with rice. All of that was just 12 ringgit. 12 ringgit is $2.50
$3.
US.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Then in the afternoon, I was still hungry because it was a pretty small meal. I'm a big guy. I got to an Indian place. I got the big plate of spicy chicken biryani with all kind of different sauce for it. Then I got a naan with again sauce and a mango, freshly squeezed mango juice and a bottle of water. The whole bill was 25 ringgit.
Yeah, amazing.
So again, the same thing. Just the mango juice in Toronto would be over 25 ringgit. 25 ringgit is what, is $6, something like
Yeah.
this. That would be $15 just the juice.
It's insane. So yeah, I love even the place that you and I went in KL across the Petronas Towers. That was a great place to eat because it had so much options and it's this
Yeah,
even right across the very
let's see to
central
the
area was
house.
discounted.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
it's
cool.
actually one of my favorite places to go to eat. NZ is an institution, and NZQ is an institution in KL.
Yeah, it's an awesome place. Samuel, hello. I've highlighted him because he's a member. As you can see, he's got a little badge next to his name. Guys, become a member. I'm not going to ask you again. Okay, I'm going to punch you in the eye hole like this. Samuel says, Alex, I think you can help the local philanthropy by partnering with some of the local businesses and help advertise a business such as a dedicated driver for expats when they arrive. Hey, that's excellent idea too. Perfect, Samuel. I'll definitely do that as soon as I get into actually having some income for myself and I have some time. I'll be putting that out for sure. Whoa! So let's go back up to the questions that we were at. Sorry, guys. I need to find my place. When the person was talking about dangerous, I think he was getting hit by. Oh, we read that one already, right? Okay, here we go. I found my spot. Willie Hernandez says, as far as dressing up is, As far as dressing up is concerned, depends on where you're going and who you're going with or who you're meeting. Too hot to wear a suit. I prefer to dress smart, casual with a clean look. Plus, take a shower. LOL. Yeah, 100%. So I'm the same as you, Willie Hernandez. I don't think I've been in any place lately that requires suits, but if you're in Thailand, suits are cheap. If you need it for work, if you have business meetings, if you go to networking places like Lorenzo's doing with his like podcasts and his books and all that, then yeah, I think that's what he's referring to wear. But I agree about trying to be as casual and comfortable as possible in your
The
everyday
only place in
regular.
Asia where I've been wearing suit was when I was living in Hong Kong or China or here in Kuala Lumpur. But I do it only during events, and events are usually held in the evenings. And when I go
Yes,
everywhere, I just take a grab, so I'm not walking. Because yes, during the day, no, you're not gonna see me wearing suit here. It's too freaking hot.
it is hot, right? A fresh aloha. Yes, I like to connect with your awesome guests. What is the contact info again? So, do you have any email or something like that?
My email, if I can. Wait, how can I? What would be the best way?
So right now on your leaders, I don't see a contact info.
Give
Um,
me my Instagram. My Instagram is official payment.
fish.
You have my
Okay,
Instagram, Alex, so you can just
I
share
do.
that.
Yeah. So I just typed it. Let me know if that's correct, Lorenzo. Let me highlight it so you can see it.
At official and payment. PAYMAN. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, guys. So if you want to reach out to Payman, let him know. That's his Instagram. You can send him a message on there for any kind of business networking questions. And
Or
he's
even
just a nice
tips. I'd
guy.
love to help and empower,
Tips,
inspire
tricks,
people. Yeah.
inspire, make a new friend, whatever, right?
If you're in town, I'd
So,
love to show you around. Yes.
all right, guys. So we're passing the 2 hour mark. I can't believe that,
Yeah. Wow.
Lorenzo. I think it's time perhaps to wrap this up sometime soon. Lorenzo,
Yes.
what do you think?
Yes.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you for.
Absolutely.
I'm going to continue, guys. So we're going to say goodbye to Lorenzo. Let's show him some love by thanking him for being here. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the
Thank you
rest of
for
your trip.
inviting me.
And my pleasure. Did you check out the art area in Georgetown yet? There's like a street
We'll
art
do it now.
area.
Just waiting for my friend to come pick me up, and we'll go it after. Yes. I
There's
did some
obviously.
yesterday, but it's been raining most of the time, so
Oh, okay. There's obviously that graffiti with the bike and all that. So take a
I
picture
took a
there and
picture of
show.
that. I posted on my stories. If you check it, I did.
Okay, I'll take a look. All right, buddy. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for inviting me. Take
Okay,
care.
my pleasure.
Stay safe,
Bye.
everyone.
See
Cheers.
you.
Ciao.
And that was Lorenzo Pearman, guys. So yeah, you can see that many people are out here living their life, living their best life. Some people are working, some people are retired, some people are just trying to find themselves, taking a break from the West. Now, for me, I've mentioned this so many times, so I won't waste your time or bother you guys why I live in Asia. But for this stage of my life, I think Asia or any other country that I can truly experience life is where I want to be right now. If I were to be back in Canada, I couldn't sustain my life with YouTube, first of all. So that means I have to have a proper job. It would take time for me to start a business for myself, of course, if I were to do that. And then by the time that is established and I'm making some money, I might be in my 40s. I don't even know what will happen. It's just not the right place for me. And not to mention the political, scene and cost of living and all the other stuff we talked about 100 times. So for me right now, the Philippines it is. So let's go back up, answer some questions. I'm gonna have a sip of my water. This live stream is going on over 2 hours. Let's break a record today, guys. We're gonna go for like all day Saturday live stream. Hey, I wonder how long a lot because it's easy to do a live stream when you're gaming. There's gamers. I can play video games for hours too. But to continue talking about a topic, that's a little bit challenging. So I'm pretty proud of 2 hours of this. Let's go ahead back to this. Guys, sorry if I missed your question. There's so many questions coming in. So please bear with me. Okay. We talked about that. I've been considering moving to the Philippines for years. Depends on what you. Okay. Oh, I think it was a suit comment, the last thing. Okay. So here we go. Fresh Law says, yes, I like to connect with you. Okay, we did that. I typed in the. Alice, I think you and Commander Dawood would make a killer team together. Would love to see videos with you together. Um, I would love to do collaboration with anybody. I've stopped sending out emails myself. I used to send out some emails to try to collaborate with people. Lately, I've stopped because they don't really help the channel grow. It's a lot of effort to meet somebody if they're not in the same city. And then lastly, I just don't want to sit down for another interview type of video again. But I'd love to collaborate with people and go out there and do things like maybe try a restaurant, live in a province. So I think myself and um, Leon Blair's Slog channel right now are in talks. I might go live with them for a day or two. They live out in the outskirts of Cebu City, but that's in the works. A lot of things coming to the channel. I have a lot on my plate right now, so I'm going to try to do my best to continue with the regular videos on the channel. I'm going to continue with these live streams. I want to continue offering the additional perks for the memberships. So my life has become YouTube now. So it is what it is. I still enjoy it. I'm going to stop if I don't enjoy it, but I'm loving it. I like interacting with you guys in the comment section, and yeah, we'll keep going. Mango Cash says, I agree. Many bash their own country on YouTube. I'm with you, Alex. I love being an American. I love America. I just don't like the direction it's going and felt wanted to change. That's what it is. Just like a lot of people are talking down not only about their own country, but about just anything. There's a lot of negativity when you travel even with your home country, anywhere in life. You're going to be around an area of people that are negative. I simply remove myself. It's been happening quite often, actually. If I'm talking to somebody in an interview and they start to get too negative to the point where it's just becoming just like it's not even like tips or tricks or experience. It's just them just being a negative overall kind of vibe. I try to change to a positive vibe. It's not that I'm trying to sugarcoat things. It's just like I don't need to hear all this other negativity that's not really true in most cases. Or if I'm talking to a group of people at a cafe, expats that's talking about how this is bad and that is bad, I just simply get up and say, okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. It's not something I want to be a part of, to be honest. McLovin with Irish R&B singer. That's quite the name there. IWO, what's the average cost for electricity in BGC for 2 bedrooms? I have no idea. I'm going to say probably like 5,000 to 6,000 pesos, realistically. If I'm wrong, someone, because over here it's a studio and I come under 3,000. So I imagine 2 bedroom electricity in BGC, I assume around 6,000 pesos a month. But if someone can actually give a proper number, be appreciated. Testrish Unstable Freak, to me, it seems like a lot of Filipinos are here in the Philippines want to go to Canada, but Canadians in Canada will some like to move to the Philippines and other Asian countries for many reasons. It's just a matter of we always want what we don't have. And just like anything else in life, you want to experience different places, different cultures. I think if I were a Filipino living in the Philippines, I would 100% want to go to Canada too and live there even, right? So there's nothing wrong with wanting to go there. But for some of us that don't have much holding us in Canada, maybe don't have a family, maybe don't have a high paying job, or maybe just don't want to work. For me, it's not even about work, like the money thing. I just don't want to work the way people work 9 to 5, 2 hours commute, come home, eat something, and you have like 1 hour to myself. I don't really consider that life. So if I have an option, why not take it? Robert Robertson, tank rolling down the street of Moscow. The commies are about to have civil war. What? What the shite? Is this for real? I guess something going on in Russia. Rajwinder, hello. Welcome. Hello. Wow, this was a long live stream. Awesome, guys. Good night. James, good night, man. Thanks for being here. Why are you tripping? You should make some more Indian food videos. Cebu must have some Indian restaurants. Trying Indian food in Philippines could be a good clickbait video with your audience. Hey, great idea. Let me write that down before I forget. But then all the Filipinos are going to be like, hey, how come you come to the Philippines and you try Indian food? Right? It's always somebody that's not happy. But I'll do it. I'll do it because I want to do it. Because you want to do it. Why are you tripping? I'm going to remember it. I don't need to write it. Or go back to Malaysia for Indian street food in Penang. I will go back to Malaysia. I just don't know when. Fresh Aloha says, I just subscribed to Lorenzo's channel. Let's work together, Lorenzo. I've always believed everybody communicates, but great leaders connect. Whoa, Fresh Aloha, you sound a lot like Lorenzo there. I think you guys should definitely connect. I put his Instagram there as well. Why are you tripping? Oh my God, I run multiple channels, approximately 20, all on separate Gmail accounts. Most are dormant. Thanks for the heads up. Wow. So I guess Why Tripping is running or managing YouTube channels. Why we switched over from TikTok, we were why we switched over from TikTok, we were linked to from Facebook page, deleted the Facebook page, which we didn't know would block us from TikTok and would do nothing to help recover. Yeah, that's silly. I don't know what's going on with these social media websites. He's got 5.07 million subscribers. Whoa, good for that guy. This is a Syrian, hungry Syrian, I think, right? Sumi Gurang says hi. Okay, guys, I'm going to read till there's no more comments, and I'm probably going to end this live stream. I guess I'm not going to the gym today. Forget about it. Anybody going to the gym? Fresh Aloha. Alex, I love your personality. I got an idea for a book that will blow up your channel. Your book will be called How to Achieve 100,000 Subscribers and More on YouTube with just a phone. That's an excellent tip. So how do we make this work, I guess write a book. Oh my God, what am I doing? I'm trying out here to live my life and I'm working again. But no, I agree. Thank you so much for that tip. I have a lot going on right now, guys. A lot's coming to the channel. So a book is going to probably not happen. Maybe an audiobook for sure, or downloadable content maybe. Respect our elder seniors especially. Never raise your voice on them. RLV, you're right. Even if you're in the right, there's no need to be right all the time. Like the other day, I ordered a motorbike taxi to take me to the mall, and the guy was at the wrong building. And even though I typed it very clearly where to come, and then he called me, he says, I'm here. And normally, I'm a very short-tempered person, naturally, the way I am. And I said, no, you're the wrong building. He's like, no, you put East Tower A or whatever. I'm like, no, I put North Tower A. Just look at your phone. Anyway, instead of me getting angry, yelling, or whatever, and I could see his picture. He was an older gentleman. And I'm like, maybe this guy is just simply mistaken or can't read properly. Who knows what the reason is? So I didn't want to yell or raise my voice or in a situation where normally I might cancel or just get angry for no reason. That's just a stupid example. My point is I was aware of where I was and who I was talking to, and not to get angry just because something didn't go my way. And that's really true, to respect your elders and seniors, especially if you're here. Yo, pin me. CJ. There you go. You got pinned, bro. Mango and Cash says, Alex, if you experience a lot of brownouts, let me try that again. Alex, if you experience a lot of brownouts, do what I do. Get you a 250 amp hour battery, 1,000 watt inverter, and a small battery charger. Power goes up or out. It will run your internet for days if needed. Hey, that's excellent tip. Mango and Cash in the Philippines. Thank you for that tip. I don't have that problem here. I had only one, but because you said Valencia and Dumaguete, I think it was you that said it happens 3 or 4 times a week maybe, or someone else that mentioned it. Regardless, we still got 40 people watching this, so you guys are crazy. I'm out here spending my Saturday talking to you guys, but if you guys want to keep talking, I'll keep going. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, consider becoming a member. Maybe use a super chat, super stickers. Maybe don't. Either way, we're going. Official pay one. Oh yeah. So RPL says air quality is my only concern in places like the KL. I think Penang has healthier air, and there is an efficient train service that connects the two cities. Penang definitely does have healthier air, and KL pollution wasn't as bad as some other countries. So, but from those two, definitely Georgetown or Penang has better air quality. Willie Hernandez, the food is also fresh and not saturated with hormones and others not natural ingredients. You have to pay extra in the U.S. for organic food. Yeah, definitely. I mentioned this the other day. Over here, you can tell that the food has less nonsense in it, especially fruits and vegetables. You better eat them or they're going to go brown. They don't have all that wax and other crap that's all over it. And whatever you eat out there, it's usually fresh, either fresh fish, fresh meat. It doesn't have the same, and some stuff don't look as red. I know a lot of times they put food coloring and stuff in the West. Over here, I feel in Asia, food seems to be a bit more natural, which is always good for your health. Hello, peeps. Tobias Michaels here. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello to you. Philippines is now a fast developing country. It's clear that our dream has started. In a few years from now, all the problems will improve, just like developed countries in the future. I agree. Antonio, 100%. I hope nothing but success for all Filipinos. People here have been wonderful, And I can't wait till you guys start becoming even more developed and just like a first world country. And what that means, of course, the entire economy goes up. Everybody gets better lives, hopefully, in theory. And that's what happens. Peace out, Lorenzo. Much appreciated and success in your endeavor. Sorry, guys, I didn't get a chance to read all this stuff to him. Baby Lily's here. Hello, Alex. Hi, Alex. Hello. Alex, I like how you titled your last vlog as Describe the Philippines with one word. What did you think about the Philippines? What do you think of the replies? I didn't think much of it at the time, but afterwards it kind of hit me that from like the 10 people or whatever, I can't remember how many people, maybe 8 or 6 or 7, I can't remember. All of them had positive things to say. Not a single one of them was bad. Like that's a big thing to take. Not a single person, and they all seemed genuine. Nobody said, "Oh, a third world country," or a developing country, or like inconvenience, or traffic, or useless. I don't know. You can say a whole bunch of negative stuff when you're here, right? So that was good for me to understand after the video. I wish I would said something about that in my video during the outro, but I didn't even realize it until after I edited. I'm like, wait, everybody said something extremely positive, and a lot of similar things like kind or welcoming, just happy people. These are really good things to have because I know for sure you go to Canada and you ask Canadians to describe Canada in just one word, I guarantee you none of those will come up. Stressful, expensive, or whatever. They're going to say something along those lines. So that was kind of neat. Yeah, Samuel, for sure. Philip Massey, be careful about getting too busy, Alex. You need to stay chill on the Philippines. You're right. I do need to stay chill. But I got a plan. I'm going to take a break soon. I'll tell you guys about that later, maybe Monday. Good evening. Steel City TV, sir. Good evening, sir. InfoQuester says, is it necessary to have a Philippine bank account as an expat? What do you use? It's not necessary, no. I still use my Canadian bank when I'm here. I just simply do my online banking through my phone, and I withdraw through my credit card, and I just pay the $2 or $5 withdrawal fee. Usually, honestly, the way I'm living, I don't have to withdraw more than twice out of the bank. You can go to banks that have 30,000 per transaction. So for 60,000 pesos, I can make that last a month, and I don't need to like worry about anything else. You don't need to have one, and you can't even get one on a tourist visa. So you got to have some kind of other stay here to get a bank account. Philip Massey says, Alex, have you ever gotten a date from one of your on the street interviews? Be honest, bro. Come on, man. What do you think? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. You guys gonna try to get me in trouble? No dates for me. I don't date people. This is business transactions. Okay, that's it. Or just for the YouTube. I'm getting tired, guys. It's that moment where I just clash and crash and go down. That's it, guys. So 2 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you all for being here. Many reasons to live in Asia over Canada or the West. Many reasons to do the other way. Maybe you want to live there. For me, my lifestyle, where I'm at in life right now, I don't have any dependents. I don't have any reason to be in Canada aside from like friends and family, but they're always going to be there for me. It's easier in Asia. It's more fun. It's more relaxing. I get to live my life the way I want to live. It's just convenient for me, and I'm lucky to be doing it. So why not take advantage of that? Why be in my office somewhere just dreading working? And I don't have to deal with snow. I don't have to deal with taxes and all this other stuff that I don't want to have to deal with. So I'm taking this chance to travel. And speaking of traveling, join me Monday where I contemplate whether I should stay in the Philippines. And yeah, so we'll talk about that on Monday. Live stream coming. Ugh, I'm tired. All right, guys, that's it. I want to thank everybody for being here, for asking the questions, for commenting, for being very polite and kind to Lorenzo, except for that one guy I kicked him off. Maybe you guys didn't see his comment, but I don't tolerate people disrespecting my guests or anything rude. I don't got time for that. That's it. Today is Saturday. I'm gonna do nothing as usual. Do some interviews, edit some videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for being here and asking questions and participating. See you guys.